Oh, boy, we need to take turns on our
That's fine. I mean, we do take turns. You do it on Tuesdays.
Ugh. I have to unplug my mouse. I'll be right there.
Good luck.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
Can't even remember my character's name.
Is my webcam still on?
It is.
Yep.
Okay, then this wasn't my webcam. That's
It might still be, because we can't really see if you're moving or not. No, it's working.
Yeah.
okay. My mouse does not move anymore, so I think I did it.
Yeah, that's generally what happens when you unplug it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the update stuff hasn't started yet. Oh, I think it did. Okay. Now my screen is
Times.
completely blocked with the update. Ah, we can
Look,
start.
my mouse is purple light.
That looks strangely familiar.
Yeah, it's like almost. It's like I asked you what mouse you got, and I bought one.
I got this one.
Oh god, I've got proper mouse envy. I've got the chip.
Oh,
Adrian, we have the same mouse.
That's
I'm
predictable.
actually buying this exact mouse again because it's sort of there's bits coming off. So I'm just gonna buy it again. It's a good
Adrian,
mouse. I like
We
it.
have the same one.
We match.
Oh,
Soon we can wear one of those security vests.
Oh, by the way,
I'd rather
since
buy
we
a
have the
onesie.
same mouse, do you have the issue that the
We don't have exactly the same. I don't have colored light. I just have the one model lower, 302.
anyway, do you have mouse button 4 and 5, right?
Yeah.
Side. Does one of them double click?
These ones.
Yeah. Like
No.
if you're browsing the internet and you go the mouse 5 to go back, it double clicks and it double backs. It's fucking annoying.
Nope.
When you're browsing the interwebs.
No, I'm sorry, when you're driving your internet truck, the highway tubes of the internet.
Ugh, I plugged my mouse back in. Not doing anything.
Well, this has been a
Fuck.
great start to the session.
Ah, my mouse is back. We can start now. I'm good.
It would also help if you would be on roll 20, probably.
I mean, does being on roll 20 ever help with anything? I don't feel like it does.
I mean, it's not as laggy on plates as it is on fucking endless goddamn token hell, but
I mean, it's because Arne has like 50 fucking goblins in every fucking room.
Actually, I don't think that's why. I think it's just the map size. I thought about splitting the maps in 4 and making it like 1/4 the size.
It
But I
wouldn't be
think-
the largest dungeon, that would it?
thank you, Curtis.
This is why
You broke a dungeon master.
this is why you're the brains of this operation, Curtis.
Everyone knows the area gets smaller if you make like smaller parts map.
Yeah, I mean, 100 divided by 4 times 4 is still not 100, right?
You're the kind of person that asks for their pizza to be cut into 8 slices so they get more.
See, I can do this now. I can zoom in and out, in and out.
It's not. No, it doesn't work if it's not smooth.
What?
Like, it needs to be like a slow pan in to uncomfortable levels.
Look, I got a great fucking hair day going on.
it's gonna work. When you say, I take 3 stress, and then you zoom in.
Right.
I want to zoom with the camera. How the fuck do I do that?
You can always just move your face closer. Anyway, Curtis,
Seamless zooming.
Stop saying my name.
I hope you didn't start yet with the recording, by the way, Mike. Otherwise, you might.
Oh, I started a long time ago. That's why I said this has been a great start to the session.
Which might be incriminating evidence against us or something like that.
Which Adrian is better? This Adrian or this Adrian?
I like the other one better.
This
like
one.
yes.
No, that's wrong. That's just wrong. Don't. No, that's wrong.
No, the other one's better.
I think
no,
we need female Adrian.
I like left wing Adrian way more.
That app doesn't work on PC.
Ah, too bad.
Oh yeah, that was fucking harrowing.
So, Curtis, you actually want to do a recap or not?
No, not even remotely. I can barely remember my character name.
Anyone else?
It's been like fucking 24 days. Because that's what 7 plus 7 is. It's 24.
Yes, roughly.
I'm fairly sure I'm like Ned. Second trauma. Good.
So we went to a boat, spoke to people.
I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We went to a boat, we spoke to people. We went to a bar, spoke to more people. Shenanigans.
Didn't we
End of
steal a
session.
boat?
I would like to comment on the fact that that bull is now a toe short and is getting close to a hoof.
I think we decided I still had 5 of them now.
In total.
Yeah, it was 3
Yeah.
on one side and 2
Yeah.
on one side,
Exactly.
which is just normal.
Which, to be honest, this is as many toes as a man needs.
Because nothing says loyalty to Scotland like cutting your toes off, so I mean that was
Oh, literally my favourite part of the session.
I mean, you might be in demand at like some foot fetish sort of club.
Surely he'd be less in demand at a fetish club.
No, I mean, if you stack fetishes, right? You got like people who are into.
regular feet are just too mainstream, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Amputee foot fetish. Where it's crossing the market. Got me a small Venn diagram.
Splint went scouting and found very little.
Makes sense.
There was some attempt at consulting with Basso, but he didn't really have time for you.
Yeah.
And you were left to your own devices. And so you went to visit the Foghounds at the docks, and at this point you were told to go to a bar and wait for a while. Eventually, you were someone came to find you at the bar, and you spoke to Vera, the leader of the Foghounds, and that there might be something in it for you if you somehow manage to interfere with some of the smugglers. And so you went and did that.
Second, can I complain about something really quick? The fucking Logitech driver program installed a fucking web advisor on my computer that now made Bing my default search. Okay, no,
You probably clicked to agree to that,
no, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that.
or rather, you didn't unclick to not agree with it.
I fucking hate everything.
Or
Please-
rather, the goddamn program used the double negative, because that they do sometimes that as well. Like, are you sure you don't want to not have this? It's just, fuck you. It's like, God.
Yep. And so yeah, you eventually found a vulture ship, and you tried to jump onto it from a bridge. A few of you succeeded. And well, there's a lot of shenanigans. Some falling in the water, some trying to find ladders. Didn't quite go as expected, but eventually, through some bizarre luck, the steam engine of the ship blew up.
What do you mean luck?
I know, it was pure planning, I know.
I think it all went great.
Yeah, it's all according to plan. If you
The
ask.
time I set a house on fire, fantastic.
So far, the
Last thing
distraction.
of the whole situation was like, yeah, we're really getting our arse kicked at this level. We need to do an easier job. Oh shit! Actually, it's still taking on the level above it. We got thrashed by everyone.
Hey, you're alright. You managed to get the job done. It wasn't smooth, it wasn't clean, but job done's a job done. And that leaves us at the point where, well, we are now going to figure out what you want to do next.
Does anyone remember why we attacked the boat? Primarily.
Well,
Well, some of us just
reputation.
wanted the job, right?
it was reputation gain and helped us out with factions that we're already friendly with.
Did we succeed? Are they friendlier with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make them even more friendlier. Like birthday party invites friendly.
Or like invited to your daughter's baptism.
No, that's the weird kind of friendly. That's not the level we want to be at.
What do you mean?
I don't want to go to any Baptist.
Baptists are a front.
The issue I have with that is if we work with the Foghounds, if we're doing similar things where we're messing with the Vultures, that could potentially put us at war with the Vultures.
And we don't want that.
And we do not want to be at war yet. Definitely not.
Yeah, you went over that last time. Perhaps you don't remember, but generally, you discover that being at war is not really great because it drains a lot of resources, and so it comes out. Makes you worse at everything while you're at war, and decreases your hold. Things like this. Makes it easier for someone to come and swoop in and take what was yours while you're busy fighting for someone else's turf.
Can you tell me more about the Lost?
Can I tell you more about the Lost? I'm pretty sure I probably could. Let me have a look to see what I think you should know and what you might need to find out. I think you just know some general information because they don't really operate here that much. They don't operate in Crowsfoot. They are focusing their efforts in Coleridge, running a campaign of sabotage and some savage beatings against what they consider to be cruel foremen.
Right.
So they're basically standing up for citizens' rights and good working conditions.
Okay, so like the reverse bill hooks.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're working mostly, as I said, in Coleridge, but also in Dunslow. And they are therefore quite quite closely allied to the laborers in the in these workhouses. But of course, the foremen and the people in capacity at these places don't like them very much.
Yeah.
They're called the Lost because they're basically formed out of people who've all done really bad things in their past, and they're doing this as a way to atone for what they've done.
Fair enough. Do we have any rival assassins?
I think there's a few, yeah. Let me have a look for you.
Let's take on some people who's trained killing.
This might take a while to find some detailed information, so go ahead and plan or something in the meantime, or discuss what you want to do.
I think we need to do another level 0 job to get ourselves up. I'll say another a level 0 job because
I
everything
don't
we've
think
done
there's such a thing as a level 0 job.
Could we get a levels -1 job? Maybe that would be easier. Like,
So there's nothing that we could do then. It'd be just 0 rank like us. Feels like there should be.
We could take out the garbage for a grandma. That's probably level 0 job.
No, that if there is a certain faction that you're being that you're interested in dealing with, that's your standing faction, then that would be fine. The thing is that they are, of course, not listed because there are so many small factions like yourselves that generally they're not noteworthy enough to be on the sheet. Otherwise, you're gonna have a sheet with 200 factions on there.
Why don't we just go absorb one of them into our ranks then.
We should find a faction that also brands people and kills them, and then we should brand them and kill them.
Or we could just find another level 0 faction and take them over.
That's what I said. Just instead of taking them over, we kill them.
But we just take them over, so like it helps us out. And we have some minions.
But providing we do something this time that increases our reputation again, we will no longer be a level 0 faction.
Oh.
Do you have the money to upgrade as well?
Depending on how much, yes, but I think we should. We have quite a bit.
Alright. Fair enough.
I don't know exactly how much it is, but we've
Yeah, I
got
don't know.
like 13 coin, I think.
Does that then make all the other missions against rank 1 factions easier? Because they don't have
Yeah.
the... Yeah. Found. Yeah, so play it safe then. If we're already nearly there. Or we need another big... Well, we could get 2 small jobs out of the way, couldn't we? To rank up to level 1, and then we can start messing
-3 is at war, right? So we can't fuck with the vultures.
around.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, basically.
Well, that's what we're saying. We're going to try to take over a faction that's not even ranked yet, just like another rank 0 like us.
Trouble is that going to be enough to give us a decent reputation? Like,
I mean, that depends entirely on how violently we kill them.
That's what I'm saying. We kill them. We don't take them over. We murder them. Thank you.
yeah, that
I
seems
guess it
reasonable.
makes sense
If we
to
could
do
take
it.
out like another entire rank 0 gang, that would probably work out. Or at the very least, like a leader of a rank 0 gang.
That's what I'm thinking. Then we can take them over. That works better. We need some minions. I'm not a fan of not having minions.
Stay behind your minions.
Banana.
I was gonna make that joke. Thank you for doing it, Lars.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that's the score then. We're going to find another low tier crew of assassins and hit the leader.
Go the leader.
Okay.
And if they get the same idea, they are fucked because we never decided on a leader.
But if it does come to
They
that,
are shit out of luck.
Whistle's the leader.
Nah, I'll tell me where. I'll tell me it's alright. Nah, it's that creepy looking.
Right. So, how are you guys going to go about finding this group of assassins that you want to deal with?
I am going to speak to my contact, who's a city clerk, and she will hopefully have access to any reports of recent murders and the like from the police, or blue coats, however they are. And that will potentially give us some links. Maybe if we find like a localized spot for where there's been a lot of recent murders or something, maybe we can start to pinpoint a location.
Okay. Sure. What ability do you want to use to get this information? I guess consort for you?
I was definitely thinking like survey or something.
Nah, that doesn't sound right. You're not surveying her office. You're trying to get some information from her first, right?
Maybe
That's
you
the first
should.
step.
Maybe she's the murderer. Maybe that's the twist.
Yeah, well, this is gonna go well.
Well, she's your contact, right? So you have some additional dice, I think, to...
Well, hopefully. Right. Risky or controlled?
No, I think it's risky.
Effect standard?
Yep.
And what kind of bonus dice do I get for having a contact?
Check.
Doesn't matter. You're gonna roll fucking 2s anyway.
Yup.
Yeah, you just get one bonus die, I think.
Okay, well that's good. At least I get a dice. Hey, of course.
Hey.
Fucking called it, man.
Thanks, Loz. That's great.
That's great. Thank you.
I'm here all night, man. Fine.
Well, we'd hope so, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be weird if I was just to leave.
Right, I'm just writing stuff down.
Ominous.
Yeah, don't do that.
I need to, otherwise I never remember what happens.
I vote we do something really stressful today, so conk out pretty fast. Just reading like last session's chat above. Who currently has 8 stress indulges. 1. It's great. Good.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you you're going to speak to your contact, and she gives you some information that what seems to have been happening is that at one of the more notorious taverns, it's a bit of a low down, run down place, still very popular though, because the booze is cheap. Oh, it's not good, you know, it's the worst of the fungus ale they can make, but gets you drunk, so whatever.
Hey, okay. Drunk.
What's been happening is that recently there's been some issues where normally, you know, if there's a bar brawl or something, this gets resolved by just throwing people out or just having a good fight and then smashing each other over the head and then being friends again. You know, this kind of deal. But lately it seems that things have been getting uncharacteristically violent there. The point where lots of people have been getting shanked and stuff with broken glass, which normally was not happening.
Okay.
So here's the plan. We send our suited friend into this bar to talk with the patrons. Easy peasy. Bam, job done. And
Sounds
maybe
like
if
a
he
fine
beats the
plan to
assassin,
me.
maybe he could just even hire them to do a job. And then we just kill him.
Yeah, walking into that bar is not exactly what I'd like to do if we're going to start hiring them, but I think that line of thinking works quite well. I think hiring for a job and then,
Twatting them.
yeah, from there works quite well.
Also, you get to go to a pub.
But it's finding their base of operations first to actually hire them. Walking into that bar and asking is probably not going to be the best way to go about it.
What if you ask really nicely?
Same conclusion.
Doesn't sound like the kind of place where you ask nicely.
I mean,
Well, I can do
his-
the other kind of
in
asking.
Bolt's defense, he probably would kill someone for asking nice.
Well, we've just got to think about this logically. If someone wants to hire us as assassins, who do they go to?
Well, main problem right now, right, is no one's hiring us.
Other than that, if they were wanted to hire us, what would they do?
Well, they go to Lydra.
Exactly. We need to find their leader.
Oh no, but these are.
Why don't we ask Lydra?
I was just about to say, it's quite likely, considering they're quite close to us, that their Lydra might actually be Lydra.
Well, I
Grease
mean,
her palms. Grease her palms. I don't think she'd mind too much about stabbing them in the back. She could just plausible deniability. She'd say that she didn't know.
anyone else seen the problem with, like, if it's so easy to bribe Lydra, that might be an issue for us.
We just make sure we're the ones bribing her more. Mate, this is basic politicking. This is how it works. If you're the one bribing less, you die.
Seems a fair assumption to me.
Alright, so let's go pay our Lydra a visit.
Right, so you head over to Lydra and engage in conversation with her. What do you want to tell her?
This is your show.
Well, I guess it's me doing the talking as usual.
You got the
Oh,
fancy
right.
suit.
Well, you know, it comes with the territory. we've been hearing about the bar getting a lot more violent lately. It seems like there's been some more deaths there than what's usual. Apart from the usual kerfuffles that they've been having, there seems like there's been people getting shanks. I was wondering if you had any idea who's been causing these deaths.
Gonna have to be a bit more specific than that, love. What bar? Shanking's happening everywhere.
He looks over his shoulder because he's completely forgot the name of the bar. God,
Yeah, me too. Maybe a voice from up high will remind me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't tell you a name, so.
Oh,
that'll be why then. It's like, I can't remember. You said it 20 seconds ago.
you know what? She might have actually neglected to mention that.
No, it wasn't that. She wouldn't have mentioned it to you. It's called the Narrow Alley.
It's a good
What
name for a
alley?
pub. It's a narrow one.
The Narrow Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which alley is the narrow alley?
The wide one.
It was the establishment known
Right
as the,
one, yeah.
it was the establishment known as the Narrow Alley. Have you heard of it?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
How
so
bad?
apparently there's been some assassinations under the cover of bar brawls.
Uh huh.
So I'm wondering if you had any idea who would be causing such things.
Might do.
Checks his coin, flicks out 2 coin. Is that outrageous? Is that alright? Is that not enough? I have no idea how this currency works.
I
Yeah,
thought we
flick out
said like you don't have to use coin for like
bribes.
bribing and tipping and stuff.
No, it's more if you want to bribe a whole faction, for example. Like you could have had the opportunity at the start or you can do a payoff if you have an entanglement with them. But no, for
Alright, not going to use any coins then. I'm just going to bribe her with the money that I've got on me. I slip that pouch off my belt and plop that on a table.
and which skill would you like to use to make her?
Sway. I mean, is it
Sway.
sway or is it charm, logic, deception, disguise, bluff, change attitudes or behavior? Yeah, it's changing her behavior, I guess. Behavior, so she's a little bit more loose-lipped.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Sway. That this is probably your character's your main shtick, right? Like we
Yeah, it's probably the only thing I'm actually here for.
Well, you do have a nice suit. You're up for that.
Position?
Well, first of all, you need to tell me what is the
Yeah, goal.
well, the leverage here is obviously that you're offering pay,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you hope that she's going to do?
I want the name of the assassins and possible way of contacting them or finding out who their leader is. Leader. This is very confusing. Who their leader is, so we can find a contact. So we can go
Holy
about
shit, imagine if it's Lidra.
so we can go about contacting them. No, that is what we flash back. Like, yes, I'm pretty sure it could be leader is their leader, so it would be very handy. Just have to-
I do faintly remember this conversation.
Yes, a slight hint of deja vu. And we go back into the present scene. So yes, we wanted to know who their leader is, Leadra.
Yeah.
Idea, and find a way of hiring them. So we'd prefer to do a good old double cross and take them out of the picture, or more mold them into our picture. I guess it's more of a scrapbook at that point. I digress.
Okay. Then yeah, go ahead and roll your Sway. Risky Standard.
It's gonna be a 1 and a 2.
Bonus die. Means
Yeah, if you're gonna predict it and predict it correctly, could you just start saying 6s, please?
Bonus die? No, I don't think so. Like, oh yeah, I heard about that. You mention it, and she like slips the bags of money into her under the table. She's like, yeah, that seemed to jog my memory. I've heard something about the what was it? Ah yes, the Fateful.
That's a terrible name.
the Fitful? What? The faithful. Right.
I love keep up.
Faithful. Sounds like
Propose a name change for them.
Do
We
you
should
spell that just
rename
with
them.
one L or are there two L?
How about we rename them to the brand one?
Like, are they full of fate or are they just fateful?
It doesn't
you
matter
actually
because they're
there
going to be
or not?
fucking dead soon.
Not all of them. They're going to be called the Black Brands. It's just the leader. That would be nice as well if you could give us that information. What was their leader's name? Or as like I mentioned before, you know any way that we can contact them or even possibly hire them to double cross them?
Well, that's going to be a bit more complicated, I fear. The leader of an organisation like that, of course, doesn't make themselves well known, do they?
We would
If you,
know everything about them.
Want to contact them, I guess your best bet is just go there. Wait and see what happens.
I pull another bag of coins out and put it on the table. Is it possible that you could hire them for us? You do seem to have a uncanny brilliance at this kind of work.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just talk to people.
Liaising with the unscrupulous sorts like ourselves.
How about you're all outstanding gentlemen, are you not?
Of course we are, love. Of course we are.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Didn't even stain my shirt today.
Yeah, if you want, you can try and sway her again to divulge some more information about the leadership.
God, I got 6. He's still getting these rolls out of me. Risk is still
No, you asked for something, you got the result.
That is.
All
I'll do.
right.
That's good. You're doing good
This
today,
glass
Curtis.
is really helping me go into character.
You should hurt yourself more. You roll better.
She says, yeah, sure. There's and she leans in a bit closer and says, his name is probably don't speak out loud. He's been known to go after anyone that learns his name, so you can understand my hesitation.
Rig?
What?
What was it? Rig was his name? You were singing it far too under your breath.
Yeah, it's because
I couldn't hear it.
Maybe you could just write it down for us.
Yes, that's much obliged.
And she's sort of sighing, like, nah, fuck that. His name's Meredith.
I'll burn. You'll fire that. I'll burn it after I've read it.
She considers for a moment. She's like, nah, I'm not. Nah, my life's too good right now. Fuck that shit. I'll write it for you in chat though. But she's not writing it.
That'll work. How the fuck did I get Rig out of that? Jesus pissed.
I don't know. At that point, I didn't even say the name when you got Rig out of it. So God knows how you figured out the name was coming.
Never mind. Right.
Rig.
So this gent goes after people that have been spelling whispers of his name. You say?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to like being known.
I've
So
just
perhaps,
come up with a fantastic plan then. It's
if you want to
been.
make yourself a target, there's an easy way.
I think it's exactly what I'm going for. It's been an absolute pleasure dealing with you. As always, pick up the hand, kiss the hand, make our way.
I thought you were going to say make out with her.
I'll make our way. If she's up for it. She depends how well she reacts to the hand kissing, I guess.
She doesn't really seem like she's interested in engaging in relationships with her clientele.
Nah, she'll be fucking into it sooner or later. Give it time. Slow build. Right then, boys. I think you can all read my mind at this point. I think that I'm going to become bait this fine evening. What we're going to need before we set up this ruse, though, is for somewhere advantageous for me to be lying in wait for me to get assaulted.
Oh, you're getting assaulted. Oh, this is way better than I would thought. was gonna happen.
Well, you lot are going to be waiting in ambush for when I get assaulted, and then you come to my aid, I guess.
I'd like a point with a really high tower where I can go up.
Have you got anywhere in mind? I think there's one near the park, is there not? I don't know, do we want to keep this public or not?
Well,
Just
first
the
things first, we
entire
probably need somewhere where you can be heard.
That's not an issue. What I'm going to be going is straight back into that bar, this narrow alley, start spreading his name around as loudly and as frequently as I can, leave the establishment, make my way somewhere to sit, and I'm guessing there's going to be one or two tails following me back to that position.
I'd be in
Possibly, yes.
favor of like a town square with a really big clock tower because that's really, you know, faithful and stuff.
That works for me. I think I know what you're talking about. But yes, I just say this Moradin's name quite loudly and frequently, and see if
How
we
about
can.
you write him a song?
Marodan, Marodan,
I feel
what are they feeding you? Marodan, Marodan, it's not your fault.
I feel like singing about him sends the wrong kind of message. I don't feel like we're that kind of association.
Splint is the only seems competent one amongst us of actually killing people. Clock Tower, Park Estate, work for you.
Yeah, I don't really mind. Somewhere with a couple of shadows, and that does me nicely.
There's one in Chaw Hollow, if memory serves correctly.
Oh, there's plenty like in Crowsfoot as well. It's big.
Oh no, yes, I forgot. We can use that one in Crowsfield instead.
I think the only consideration we need to make is it's not too far from the bar. We don't want you getting stabbed, you know, before we even have a chance to intervene.
En route, yes, I guess.
I would like if we could pick one that's not like the church I go to, because you don't kill people where you go to church.
It's such a
Well,
fine.
it depends.
Depends on your religion, yeah.
And if you're American or not.
I think it would probably be best if I tailed you, Whistle. I can keep to the shadows, but at least I know someone's got another pair of eyes on you then.
Right, so just before you go into like super much detail, remember that this is all part of the engagement role. All this planning.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Which we always roll shit
this
on,
is the
so
engagement
it's
roller. So we know what the
Um,
plan is at least. Right then, boys, get fully heavily kitted up, you three at least. I want full armor on you all. You're going to wait, lay an ambush. I'm going to lead them there, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, apparently my loadout is 6. Oh,
Yes.
So-
Can I?
Are we going for an assault once more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's all we do. Does this game have anything else then? Like, huh?
I don't know, I suppose it could be a few things, couldn't it?
So I'm
Be a
in for
deception?
light. I'm in for light gear. I'm guessing that all of you should have it. Or you three should definitely be going for heavy, maybe.
I feel like deceit would be more like what the Gentleman Bastards in their book series do, like lying to someone to get them to invest into stuff that doesn't exist and then taking their money. That feels like
Yeah.
deceit.
Pretty much.
Fair.
Deceit is
It's a marketing campaign.
Bring on the assault then.
Deceit is also, for example, the first scene of Peaky Blinders. This is a good example.
Deceit is selling loot boxes for Battlefront 2.
Wow,
Topical.
I was waiting for that one to be mentioned. Like,
That
oh,
minus
most downloaded
400k though.
comment in.
I mean, it's not just that it's the most downvoted. It's like by a factor 20. It's
Yeah, but I
like-
mean that's the moment you. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was just like slowly approaching it. But the second someone shines a light on it, of course it's gonna be like, oh, because then it goes. People who don't give a shit.
Hype,
downloads it.
hype! I need to downvote this.
Yeah,
Oh.
which is absolutely insane. Why the fuck would you download something you don't give?
Because people are sheep.
They need to be a part of history.
Well, the thing is, I did send a message though, because they immediately reduced the unlock
No,
times by
Anna,
75%.
Anna, they reduce it by 75%. They also reduce the amount you earn by 75%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when people try to refund it and
They remove
get
the
the money back, they remove the refund button.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like this.
I feel like we're
Um,
back at worst company of 2017.
But I had that like
Yeah.
back to back.
I think this is just the kind of thing that they are getting away with this with their US customers, because I'm 100% sure that if here in the EU, I need to actually make an effort to get a refund, I can just withdraw my bank credit with them and just tell them, "No, you're not getting my money. You can go and fight for it in court."
Yeah, but then they get like pissy and ban your Origin account, like that.
Why do you have an Origin account?
I don't, but I mean,
Oh, I do.
because I'm an idiot, I don't have any
Battlefield
Origin.
and stuff.
I imagine customer protection would get involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the thing is, in America there's no law against this, but here in Europe all this stuff's pretty protected from.
It's like EU law keeps on trying. It's like EU law was trying to fuck Steam for like 5 years because you couldn't actually refund anything. So.
Yeah,
And they succeeded.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, engagement roll.
Yeah. So before we go to the engagement role, you're forgetting something. The detail is the point of attack, and you need to provide the detail.
Sure,
Yeah,
square.
but the thing is, it's like a two-pronged plan because first, Whistle, I think,
Vissel.
Whistle.
Whistle. I'm sorry, what's that?
Yeah, it
Okay,
doesn't
so
he has
the
to
point
go
is the
into-
engagement role determines how well that goes. So if that goes shit, your plan goes to shit. But your plan is to lure someone out into a square or something, and I want to know what the plan is.
I mean,
And
if
brutally murder them and brand them.
yeah,
Preferably Meriden.
Yeah, but where? Like you need
Well-
to provide the detail where you want to have this go down.
In the town square next to
Yeah,
the
we're sending a
town
message
tower.
Okay.
right on the town square.
All right.
this is such a goddamn bad idea.
Yep.
Right in the town square, let's do this. Fuck it.
Well,
Hey, we wanted Ra. This is how you got Ra.
This is also how you get arrested. Just FYI.
Well, we have enough money to bribe them.
all right. Okay. So the load. You've all picked your load.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, I'm going on.
Right. Yeah, so we'll
Luke.
go for heavy, I'm going for light.
I'll
Because
go
obviously
for
I need to be
normal.
in-
Yep. Right. Well then, we go to see what advantages / disadvantages you have on the engagement roll. Is the plan bold or daring? Yes, +1. Is it
Definitely.
overly complex? Yes, -1.
Is it?
What? It's
Yeah,
about as simple as it gets.
Trying to lure this guy out who you don't even know if he's gonna be there yet. It's contingent
Well,
on
we
a
don't need
lot of
him.
factors.
Even if we have his cronies, it's just, I guess, the law.
No, but you need to specify that in your plan though.
It's not about Meriden, it's about sending a message.
Well, what's the group called again? They're the Faithful, aren't they? So it's to lure the Faithful out at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like we're just playing with fate, which should give us an advantage against the faithful.
I mean, if we just capture a regular faithful, I mean, I could pretty much interrogate that ass.
Yeah, that's what we're
I,
going
I just use one of the basement rooms in like the orphanage and it'll be fine.
Okay, but then it's obviously clear that you don't all agree on what exactly is the desired outcome here. Like one was murdering Meriden, one is capturing someone, one is murdering a random person and sending a message.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
We are
don't know what
murdering Meriden.
Yes, that's the.
Yeah.
ultimate-
That is the outcome we desire.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So that then is still what I said before. It's contingent on a lot of factors. Like he has to be at the bar, he has to be the actual leader, etc. You know.
It doesn't have to be at the bar though. They could like run and get him.
Yeah, but that's assuming things happen. It's not like if you know where someone's going to be and you're then going to assault him when he walks
mean,
somewhere.
That's what happens, dude. If you talk shit to someone in a bar, their friends go and get him. That's just everyone.
I don't know
Talk
what
shit,
kind
get
of,
banged, mate.
I don't know what kind of bars you go to.
Norwegian bars, I think.
I mean, it's just
oh.
you fucking people. You live in places with just way too many people. If you live in a place where like everyone knows everyone, that's just what happens.
Okay, that's fair.
Right. Okay. So No bonus, no malice for that. Does the plan seek to expose the vulnerability of the target? No, you have no idea.
Yeah, that the leader gets really easily triggered by the mention of his
Yeah, he's a short fuse.
Yeah,
That's not
literally.
weak. He's not weak against that though. What the hell?
Of course
Yeah,
it is.
he's getting killed.
Okay.
It actually sounds like it's a speciality.
What
It is.
weakness is, for example, saying someone who's very strong but not very agile is trying to trap him and shoot him, for example.
Okay.
You know,
Would you
that's-
say having 5
Fuck.
toes is a weakness?
No, it fucking isn't. Why do you think he's called a bull?
Because he's got hooves.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight, not beyond what they've done to provide you with the plan to carry it out in the first place? Is anyone interfering? No. Are there any other elements that you want to consider? I'll give you one for the creativity of the solution. So let's say 2 dice. Let's have an engagement roll.
Alright, coming up.
A
Alright.
fail. No, that's not a fail.
No, that's a general what happens. So let's switch some music. Right. So that means that you end up in a risky position. I think what this means is that Bull, you didn't quite make it up to the tower. You made it onto a balcony, but then you noticed that the bar fight luring went a little bit better than expected, and there are some people chasing chasing Whistle now.
Are you
And
like
so,
being an asshole while you're running and like talking back to them?
Are they actually chasing me or are they tailing me?
No, they're actually full on chasing you, like
Fuck me, this is not God's plan ready. Shit.
broken glass bottles in hand.
These guys are as good as us.
The amateurs.
Yeah,
For
that's what
fuck's sake, I was wearing my nice
They're
shoe. I wasn't
They're
expecting it
professionals,
today.
man.
Well, they're not professionals because they're also tier 0, right?
No,
So-
but we are professional.
Ah, yeah, you say that. Let's find out.
As
We
we've
failed.
proven time and time again.
Just ask the vultures.
And so the result, of course, that you're in a risky position to start this. And so the scene starts with Whistle running around the corner, appearing in the town square.
Once I'm in position then, and I know that they're right behind me and they're about to get into position to begin getting ambushed, I'm getting the fuck out of dodge. So I'm trying to disappear into the shadows from that point. Because I prefer not to have 3 of them all bottling me at the same time, and then I'll rejoin the fight at a later point.
Yeah, sure. So let's have a roll for that then. What do you want to use?
What's
Sounds,
this thing called?
probably like
Prowl.
prowl to me. Yeah.
Risky.
Yeah. You all started risky due to the
Yeah.
engagement roll.
Effects, standard.
Yep. I don't think any gear helps you here.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any gear anyway that will help me.
I mean, unless you have like fine running shoes.
No. Wearing fine shoes, just not fine. Oh shit, I clicked off it. Risky, standard, go. Yeah, that's not bad.
All right. So you make it across the square, and then you bump into someone as you try to slip into an alleyway, where you can like circle back on where they came from,
Mm-hmm.
and you bump into to a blue coat, and he looks at you and is like, "Right, in a hurry, are we?"
Hello, good sir. How are you this fine morning?
Well, that's not really the point of this conversation, I think. Then I think I'll be asking the questions. What are you running from?
Them gentlemen there. And I just pull out a pouch and hand it in front of him.
Says, and what are you running for? And they're of course getting closer at this point.
You know, other people's wives, they love me so much. If you could beat Ace and just stand there, though, I could be on my merry way.
Go ahead and try and sway him.
Risky, standard, or
Yeah, this is risky, desperate. Oh, sorry, risky, limited. Choose the tier.
Which is, I mean,
Says right. Well, let's have some of this, and let's keep that coming, and perhaps I'll make no mention of this. And he gives you a meaningful look, and he basically indicates that he's gonna come back and take some more of your money.
fine by me. You know where we are. And I fucking bars off.
And so he darts off. You see this happening like through the square. He shoots through the square, bumps into someone, and then you see him disappear into an alley.
How noticeable are the blue coats from a distance? Have they got just massive blue trench coats on with?
Oh yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so it's obvious that I've just bumped into a blue coat.
I would like to sprint up the tower.
Why are you not already up there, you dick?
Well, you're on a balcony at the moment. That's as far as you could make it. Like on a.
I wish to have a flashback.
All right.
A flashback where I stock the tower with things I can throw, like barrels or baskets or anything I can throw.
Fucking barrels. What's this Donkey Kong?
I was gonna say.
I would just suggest rocks probably, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but like for example, a barrel with like a moderate amount of oil, so I can still throw it, but it's sticky as fuck, and well, it'll get in the way of anyone fighting in close distance.
Okay. Well, I think that's for oil. That's probably going a little bit far. But
Well,
for
then
having
just
some objects
something
there,
I
it's
can
fine,
throw.
yeah. Sure. So let's see how it goes. So I think there's probably a flashback where what do you want to call it? Survey?
I'm
To
not good at it, but I'm fine with that.
yeah, if you have something better to suggest, then that's fine as well.
Aren't you a tinkerer? Shouldn't there be something within tinkering?
Okay, you cannot tinker a clock tower.
Well.
why can you not tinker a clock tower? What the fuck?
I think it's prowl because it's like prowl about unseen. Like I don't want anyone seeing me stocking this tower with throwing things or rocks for that
sure.
matter.
Go for that as well.
Risky?
Yeah. Just risky standard.
Risky standard, bonus
Don't forget
dice
the
0.
stress for the flashback.
Why is that risky? I mean, is it a manned clock tower?
How
Risky is
much?
standard. Risky is always the case, unless there's
Oh,
something
right.
which makes it not risky. It's risky.
How much stress do I take for a flashback?
I think for this one you can have just one. I think it
Cool.
depends a little bit on the
The madness.
the complication of the flashback, basically. Right. So yeah, you do manage to prepare the tower with stuff to throw off there, some rocks and maybe not. Let's not call it a barrel, but let's call it like a one of the little
A keg.
flagons. Yeah, a little keglet of
Keglet. Oh,
keglet of oil.
keg and barrel and a baby.
And what happens is that actually, as you as you're in like a desperate attempt to not be seen, you eventually hear that there's someone coming up from underneath in the tower, and you actually have to jump out the window, and you hurt yourself a bit.
Of course.
And so it's a standard level of harm.
Can I? How do I?
You can try and resist it, yeah.
Prowess, right?
Yeah. It's physical damage.
2 stress. Okay, I can no longer take stress.
But you resisted and you only had much
Did we
left.
do downtime and everything after the last mission?
Nope, I didn't recover any stress. Oh, I almost didn't because I had to heal, which I also haven't. So if I take any damage, I'm also down.
Yeah, we should probably should do some downtime.
That's why I stocked the tower with things, so I don't have to get into harm's way necessarily. Like I can sit behind the rocks and then just throw one. I don't have to hit
Yeah,
necessarily. Like
I'm currently
pretend I'm
watching
helping.
Roma.
Okay, yeah. So you sprained your ankle. Curtis? Thank you.
No, we need to take turns on our.
That's fine. I mean, we do take turns. You do it on Tuesdays.
Ugh. I have to unplug my mouse. I'll be right there.
Good luck.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
Can't even remember my character's name.
Is my webcam still on?
It is.
Yep.
Okay, then this wasn't my webcam. That's
It might still be because we can't really see if you're moving or not. No, it's working.
Yeah.
okay. My mouse does not move anymore, so I think I did it.
Yeah, that's generally what happens when you unplug it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the update stuff hasn't started yet. Oh, I think it did. Okay. Now my screen
Exciting
is
times.
completely blocked with the update. Ah, we can
Look,
start.
my
Okay.
mouse is purple light.
That looks strangely familiar.
Yeah, it's like almost. It's like I asked you what mouse you got, and I bought one.
I got this one.
Oh god, I've got proper mouse envy. I've got the cheap.
Oh,
Adrian, we have the same mouse.
That's
I'm
predictable.
actually buying this exact mouse again because it's sort of there's bits coming off. So I'm just gonna buy it again. It's a good
Adrian,
mouse. I like
We
it.
have the same one.
We match.
Oh,
Soon we can wear one of those security vests.
Oh, by the way,
I'd rather
since
buy
we
a
have the
onesie.
same mouse, do you have the issue that
We don't have exactly the same. I don't have colored light. I just have I have the one model lower, 302.
anyway, do you have mouse button 4 and 5, right?
Yeah.
Side. Does one of them double click?
These ones.
Yeah. Like
No.
if you're browsing the internet and you go there.
running
And
skirmish.
pushing, finessing, yeah, that's the kind of thing you're gonna have to have help with. But you can still sway people just fine. There's no reason why you can't sway someone with a broken leg.
Might even get a bonus on that. But
Yeah.
sir, my leg's broken. I can't help it.
But
Please help
sir,
me walk.
I
And then I
can't
just-
help that I stabbed him 23 times. My leg's
Yes.
broken.
But sir,
Help me up. Give me your shoulder, and then you just choke him to death.
are you my mummy?
Nobody's your mummy.
Well, with all these bandages on my body, I might look like one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. So Frog has prepared the tower with various objects to pelt at the people below. Split, is there any...
How many people
want
were
to do this
chasing
one?
Whistle?
2.
2?
Where are they right now? Are they already on the middle of the square, or are they still like?
Yeah, they're making their way through the square now. Yeah, they were a little bit behind Whistle.
I would potentially like to prowl. And sitting on the bench, reading my newspaper, hiding in plain sight, I
Yeah.
would like to unleash a hidden blade upon them.
Yeah, as they run past, I assume.
Yeah. But preferably as they've gone past me, and I'll go for the one at the back.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, take some throwing knives. And prowl. Risky, I assume?
Yep.
Standard effect.
Do you have +1 weapons?
We
You
do
right?
now, yes.
Yeah, so then it's great effect.
Excellent. No bonus dice, I assume?
No.
Thank you for that.
Oh, damn.
Wow. What a piece of shit I am today.
It's
yeah.
fucking unbelievable, though. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, you got a 5 on one dice before, so yeah.
Yeah, which happens.
Confirmation bias.
No, it's not. It's fucking. You can't compare 1 die to 3 below fucking.
No,
4.
but it's confirmation dice that it's bad. I mean, the rolls so far have not been that bad. It's been a 6, a 5, a 4, 4, 5, 5, a 4, a 3 as highest rolls. So. Alright, let me just note some stuff down.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. I figured out what it was, by the way. It was the Bastion soundtrack.
That's an obscure thing that's stuck in your head.
Yep.
That is an deep obscure thing happening.
Right, so Splint, you you see these two guys running past, and you get up to throw the knife. You throw it, and it clinks into the stone next to them, like a little sort of like a stone fencing area where there's some. Was once upon a time there were plants in there. Of course, now there's just dirt, but it still looks nice. And you throw it at them, clinks in there, falls to the floor, and this the same blue coat that was now continuing on his way after having seen Whistle slip past him after bumping into him. Looks at you and says,
Before we go too far with this,
"Yeah,
I would like to expend my special armor
yeah."
to avoid detection. So
I'm not-
perhaps
I'm not
it
hearing-
goes so badly, I just kind of throw it on the floor in front of me into the mud.
Yeah, or you could just have it notice but not detect you.
Yeah.
So the knife flies against the stone and he sees it and he shouts out, "Something's going on!" And he looks at the money in his hand that he's just taken from. First, he's like, fuck it, I don't need to get paid today," and he just leaves.
Fair enough. Right. Yeah, that's me.
His carcass and blood go, yeah.
I don't know. I guess seeing as, I mean, I would probably know that my good friend Frog
I'll
is
be
up
back in a
and lugging stones. So can't I just? But I mean, he would come limping back after having carried those things up there. So I would just take over his job and dump.
Oh
those
yeah, but I
things.
mean that's in a flashback. He can still go up there himself.
Yeah, of course. But I would, seeing as he's hurt, I would go up there with him.
Yeah.
So we could just take turns lugging, dumping stones over there.
Mhm.
So I'm just
You're on
wait.
to-
Yeah, basically, I guess I would help. It doesn't matter because there's no turn based, so we'll be standing there together lugging stones over there.
Yeah.
Assist him, it helps him with his next roll as well.
But yeah, we would have to wait until they're close enough.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. You can hit them from here.
Then I would like to.
It's just your vantage point is not very good. Like you didn't quite manage to get the supplies up to the top level of the tower, and so you're.
Of course not. I have a broken ankle.
Before you throw the stones, may I point out that I think there's guns in everyone's standard equipment. I feel like that would be far more effective to use.
Yes, but that's
I mean,
less
they're
funny.
like fucking muskets and shit. If you
Also-
dump a 5-kilo rock
I was
on
just
someone's head,
suggesting.
Yeah, but like throwing rocks or throwing gags, does that count as wrecking stuff? If so, I'm better at it.
Yeah, I mean if you want to throw just some big things down, I'm fine with you using wreck for that.
yeah, I just want to help Frog then. I mean,
Like
sure.
officially in the system, I'm not even allowed to say no when you want to use an ability. It just it assumes that the players follow the best practices, which is don't use stuff you're not supposed to use.
I mean,
Okay.
chucking a rock over a
I want to
fucking
use
mountain
Sway
is-
to kill himself.
I mean, to convince him to
No,
commit.
no, it's more like I can't say like you're not supposed to say. I want to wreck them with a gentle touch. You know, that's the kind of thing that doesn't.
It would be fucking
Obviously
epic though,
work.
like Finger of Death. Like not the spell in D&D, but just like you touch them and they just explode violently. Yeah. 1,000 years of death.
No, but you can use Rec for this. That sounds fine.
Nice.
Okay, does he get help from me? Does that stress me? Does that stress him? I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean he's fine. He doesn't really need help for this. He can still throw.
Risky or desperate?
Risky.
Standard or limited?
Well, I don't think these count as weapons, so standard.
That's it. Alright.
Dude, how the fuck
Oh,
does-
yeah!
If you're a human being and someone chucks a fucking massive rock, it's not a standard effect, you're stone dead.
Yeah, but you know there's more effective things than throwing a rock off a
I
tower.
thought all of our weapons were considered fine from now on. Even
Well.
rocks that we find are particularly
Uh-huh.
rocks.
Either way, it doesn't really matter on. I think this is probably the first crit of the game, isn't it?
It is absolutely the first one.
It rocks.
So you have this big rock and you're like, this is my rock. This is the rock I'm going to use. And it's probably like a kilo too heavy to throw comfortably. And like you limp, of course, over to the side of the building where you can dump this rock off.
I'm like helping him move.
And what happens is that you get close to the edge, then you actually trip. But you trip with your hands like out, and perhaps this leaves the rock in a better trajectory than just throwing it yourself, as you're just desperately trying to catch yourself as you chuck this rock over the edge. You don't even see what happens, but of course, the recently disappeared into the shadows Splint hears it happening, and Bull probably sees it happening as he's looking down at the scene below through his visors. As this sickening crunch happens, as this guy that's running just gets smacked in the back of his head, and as he falls, the rock just falls with him, lands on the back of his head, and there's just like brains all over the pavement.
I turned the frog and I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be a tough one to find.
What? And I look over. Oh, yeah. Nice. And I just stand there mesmerizing. I'll skip a turn.
Oh my god, I'm just picturing the goddamn. There's an old video game, an old Beavis and Butthead video game where you stand on top of a school roof and you spit on the bed.
Luke,
Yeah. Such a goddamn good game, and you charge up, you spit, and you have a snot ball, and oh, it's fucking great. Good old video game.
I would like to look at what they just did, look at my rifle, and just... and then I
Throw
would
your
like-
rifle.
Would like to use my rifle, my fine rifle, which would be like a very fine rifle, I assume, to just shoot the other dude. No, this is
risky and great effect. All right. So you you get a pretty good shot off, and you shoot him right through the artery in the leg. And you notice that he falls to the floor for a moment, writhing in pain. Stands up and he tears off like a scrap of cloth from his sleeve, and starts wrapping his leg around it. And then
he's
he starts
wrapping his leg around it.
He's wrapping it around
Yeah,
his
that
neck.
sounds like it would hurt.
I always repair my sleeve with my leg, don't you?
Makes sense to me.
And so he starts crawling away with his leg in all this agony, and he's like, half dragging himself to a bench where he can rest for a second to get up. He does seem to be readying something to shoot back at you.
To assist a teammate or set up a teammate, I'm going to take stress, aren't I?
Yep.
God damn it! I need a Splint. Splint, subdue him. That's all you're getting from me. I would assist you, but
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I look down at my knee, like, oh, splint. That's what I could use. My ankle.
All right.
Oh, I know what I can do. Fuck that. Alright, and I'll go up to him and I pull a mysterious bag off the back of my pack full of trance powder. A dose of the popular drug which induces an altered mental state. The victim of this powder is not fully unconscious but rather retreats into a calm, suggestible mental state similar to hypnotism.
That's the stuff I tried to, fake killing myself with.
So I'm going to throw trance powder on his face, and then I'm going to start interrogating him, and I want to ask him where...
Okay, the action will be to throw the trance powder.
Alright, okay, yeah, fair dues. I don't even know what that'd be. Finesse, to make sure I don't fuck it up.
Yeah, you could use finesse. You could also use skirmish, if you prefer,
Ah,
or even prowl as well. To sneak up behind him and just
pocket sands.
space.
Yeah, I'll do that then. Position, risky.
Yep.
Effect is standard, isn't it? I only get great on my weapons, don't I?
Yeah, weapons and gear.
I don't have any gear, god damn it. Bonus dice.
I need to be Rebecca and be involved.
Okay.
Nice, good job.
Oh,
Yeah, that's another critical.
2
There it
6s.
is,
Yeah. Yeah, boy. I'm rolling
So-
really well today.
So as he's sitting there trying to recover, and he's about to get up, you just like sit down next to him and put your hand over his face from behind with the powder in your hand, and he of course inhales reactively to try and get away. Breathes in a bunch of this trance powder, and you see that he immediately sort of slumps into the bench. You can hear him sort of groaning in pain.
You'd like this pain to stop, wouldn't you? As a slightly just squeeze his leg. Don't worry, I can make it stop for you. I just need to know who your boss is and where I can find him.
And he's just sitting there in extreme pain.
Come on, Marodin. You know where he is, Marodin.
Go ahead and roll command, I guess, for this.
No, I'm convincing him. I'm being very charming here.
You compel swift obedience. You might intimidate or threaten to get what you want.
Fucking damn it.
Might
I've
be
got
again-
nothing in command though.
I mean, how the fuck is this? I mean, it's
Right,
seduction.
come on, I've got to be able to
It's
fix
way.
Seduction, yeah, sure. Grab the guy who.
This is how I seduce people, okay? Fucking deal with it.
That's why you're single. Okay, sorry.
Oh my god. Shots fucking fired, man.
Wow.
No, but I don't think Sway applies
It's,
here. Sway.
change behavior and manipulation.
Yeah. You're manipulating them either with charm, lies, or a well-reasoned argument that they can't easily dismiss. It's really trying.
I have lost your audio, Arnie. Someone else speak? I have lost everyone's audio. Brilliant. Uno momento.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
And it's
The better.
fine. Yeah. No idea what happened there. That was really weird.
So what I was
Disco.
saying is that.
Ow! Sounds.
Yes. What I was saying is that sway really only applies when it's you can just see sway as persuasion in D&D basically, like you're trying to in a friendly way with no
But
hostile
you would
intent.
use persuasion in this in D&D in this situation.
Nah, it would be intimidation.
Fuck no.
Yes. Anyway,
Do I get some bonus dialects and I crit the last roll and I'm fucking squeezing his archery that's currently pissing blood?
No. That's just the increased effect was that you easily managed to apply the powder.
I mean, Curtis would get advantage because he knows a lot about leg pain.
Yeah. You're exactly right, you press. Right, risky, standard then, and no bonus die. God, this is gonna go awfully.
You can go for controlled standard. I'll give you that for your crit prowl.
2.
Yep.
Stop
It's a 2.
calling him, you arsehole.
What?
It's like, I can't tell you that. It's gonna fucking kill me. And worse, before he does.
Oh, I would like to fucking kill him.
I would like to help Frog down and go to these people. I mean, go to wherever Whistle is. I would just like to join them, and I wouldn't leave Frog there because he's.
Yeah, so it's
I
gonna
would
take
like
some
to
time
go
get
the opposite
back
way.
down the tower. Just
I'm-
get away from there.
I want to grab the dead guy and take him into the clock tower, sneak him in there.
Sure. Give me a risky prowl.
Oh, this is perfect. I want the dead guy in the clock tower.
We can't have him. Risky standard?
Yeah. I mean, standard doesn't really matter here. You're dragging someone who's. All right. So
I imagine we meet on the way down.
Yeah, probably. You're probably
Yeah,
like,
so me and
going in
Frog
as
will
soon
probably
as
stand there and admire our work for a few seconds as well. 'Cause that was some grade A stone tossing. That was.
Yeah, you didn't leave me much to work with in terms of branding.
No, that's what I said.
Superb tossing, which finished with a head exploding. Fucking beautiful.
Bursted like a nut, didn't it?
Right. So, you managed to drag
Fucking
him across
Bonzi
the.
is ridiculous. I'm wearing fucking Superman pajamas as well. I'm still coming out with that.
Huh?
That fucking onesie's ridiculous.
It's fucking comfortable. Like,
That's like what you wear for carnival. I don't understand.
I
What?
went to actually.
Hold on. It was weird enough wearing a onesie in the house, and now you're talking about wearing a onesie to a carnival?
I am planning on wearing this to a festival, and I've also already wore it to a party.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
It would-
like, wait, I'll
it,
link
it
it
would
to
be
you.
it would be really bad if it was like a normal pajama onesie, but since it's a tiger onesie, it's alright.
Yeah, it's completely fine then.
These things have become really popular during German carnival in the last few
God,
years.
that's an awful link.
I know a guy who went out in the fucking, the pink, the Antwerp one.
Uh-huh.
He just went out in that, like, in a local party, and no one fucking knows what the Antwerp is, so he's like, fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's funny.
I just really don't give a shit. It's
one with the
comfortable
rainbow,
and
yeah?
that's nice.
You know what's nice? A Horizon Zero Dawn hoodie.
Is it though? Is it
I
really?
like it. I'm really happy with it.
You know what's nice? Being forced to take cake upstairs.
Oh,
Your life
yeah.
is so terrible. You have it so
Yes.
hard. I
Yes.
feel super sorry.
Should I start with the apple crumble or the cherry? The cherry one.
Is it proper
know-
apple crumble? Because when
Ah,
It's store bought.
I ate the goddamn
The thing
hard
that you
boiled
call
egg
crumble
today.
in the UK is something completely different than what everyone else understands.
Yeah, exactly. Because I went and go have apple crumble when I was in Malta the other day, and it looked fuck all like apple crumble. It looked horrid.
The thing that what we call apple crumble pie, basically, it's pie first of all. It's just like it's got crunchy pie dough in bits above it with vanilla and a powdered sugar on it. It's really
Fuck
good, but
pie.
it has nothing to do with crumble.
Yeah, that sounds fucked up.
Yeah, it sounds nowhere near as good as a legit apple crumble rhubarb.
What is crumble?
It's
Well,
just a completely different dish. It's if I remember right, it's a combination of a tangy fruit with a sweet fruit generally, and then on top of it you put a layer of the crumble stuff, and you put it in the oven, and it's like baked into a. It's more like a tart, I guess, than
Yeah, it's like a biscuit kind of. Biscuit
then
pop.
an actual thing, but then you just eat it out of the bowl, and so there's like the crunchy pie layer on top, and then underneath it there's the fruit,
Gooey,
right?
gooey
Yeah.
fruit. Yeah.
And then sometimes some custard in there at the bottom.
Yeah, you bang a load of custard on top.
Or on top. Yeah.
Custard it like.
Wait, wouldn't custard on top just work against the crunchy stuff?
What the fuck is
It means
custard?
it quick enough so it's proper crunchy. So it's like, you know, when you have milk on cereal and it's so crunchy for the first like minute you're eating it, and like that.
Milk on what?
Cereals.
Milk on cereal.
I usually wait until it's soggy because that's the way I like it.
Wait, do you pour the milk in first or the cereal in first?
You're a fucking
Cereal
You
first.
milk in
Cereal first. What the fuck?
Everyone does that, right?
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
putting milk in first when you're making
Do
a
you
fucking
use
cup of
warm
tea.
milk or cold milk?
Cold. What
Oh,
the fuck? Who
cold,
the
of
fuck?
course.
I have warm on
That
occasion.
depends. Is it
Not
chocolate
cold.
cereal and do I have enough time? Then it's warm because chocolate milk stuff. If it's just normal, if it's normal cereal, it's just cold milk.
it has to be cold. You don't use warm cereal.
I used to
Who
have
the
Yeah,
warm
fuck
cold.
eats warm milk?
Yeah, you
Exactly,
Only, eat it
yeah.
only with oatmeal.
No, they'll literally do the advertisement. You know Cocoa Pops? They do the
Yeah.
advertisements over in British TV where it's like, use warm or cold milk.
Yeah, it was a Brit who told me he only has cereal with warm milk, and I was like, what?
No, that's fucked up, and definitely.
Do you
can't-
mean like warm as in you've had it on the stove warm? Or
Yeah,
like warm
yeah,
it's been in the
yeah.
room for
Hot.
fucking up? Okay,
Stove.
okay.
Yeah, like banged in the microwave.
See,
But
that's,
then you
I was
make,
gonna say
like-
this just brings up another question. If you're gonna warm milk, who warms it on a stove?
Where the
What
fuck
are you, where
microwave?
the fuck else would you warm
It goes in the microwave. Everyone knows this.
You don't boil shit in the no.
Wait,
Yeah,
can't
you
you
do,
use
it's
a
very
water
fast.
cooker? Wouldn't a water cooker work?
No, that would not work at all. Adrian, please, before you move out, ask all the questions that you have.
Yeah, and also, can someone explain what the fuck a water cooker is? Is that like
It
a
cooks water.
kettle?
No, a kettle in everywhere else except in the UK is made out of cast iron.
Yeah, I mean,
A
we used to
water-
have them. We just obviously evolved beyond you.
A water cooker is just like this plastic thing you plug into an outlet.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
cooks a kettle in
cooks
the
water.
UK. But for
That's
everywhere else, a
dumb
kettle
as-
is made out of metal that you put on the hob.
What do you call it? A water what?
A
Water
water
cooker.
cooker.
Which is literally what it does.
You cook water,
Yeah, it's
Oh, this is genuinely brilliant.
boil it, and then boil it is what you have in the
No, you see what the problem is? That for every other language except for English that I know, cooking and boiling is the same word.
Yeah.
Ah.
And
Yeah,
so we
that
had
is
to
weird.
translate it because you don't have that shit, so we call it a water cooker because a
Oh,
water
that's
boiler is the thing that you use to heat the water for your house. And to distinguish the two, we had to accommodate the English, and so we call it a water cooker. even though
Why
it's
didn't you
really not a
just do
word.
the same and call it a kettle?
Because it's not a kettle.
Because it's not a fucking kettle.
But it is though.
What's a kettle?
A kettle
cast
is
iron.
something that stands on the stove.
No, like
and
right,
goes
because I
beep
mean,
when
we
you
used to
want
have those
That's a
things
kettle.
in like the 17th century, and then we
But they
developed
don't exist now,
electricity.
No, Mike, don't start this. Our house has a cooker, which is just a tap water that's just immediately hot.
Yeah,
You call it a cooker?
No,
What
that's
sort
the brand name actually. It's a QUAC or just K and then
If I
ER.
Google
Mike,
kettle,
what sort
all
of
I see is
logic is
actual
that?
kettles.
Like, what sort of logic is that? Oh, it was called that 500 years ago, and now it's electric, so we'll call it the same thing. What
Exactly.
about cars? Are you still calling them carriages?
Well,
because they're two different
got
things,
dual
aren't they?
carriageways.
Well, so are these. One's an electric thing that makes water warm. The other is not an electric
If
thing.
you Google kettle, all I can see is just regular electric kettles. I can actually see my kettle.
Because the
I'm
word
kind
kettle-
of surprised you don't see sheep.
If I Google kettle, the first result I get is a fucking iron tea kettle, which goes on the stove.
Exactly, that's what I get.
I got a Russell Hobbs one. Just a normal kettle.
Yeah, it's just electric kettles.
Ah.
That's obviously because you're using google.co.uk, which knows that when you look for a kettle, this is what
Oh
you need.
shit, yeah, that's a fair point. I am using
Ah, there you go. You know, an iron kettle is called a stovetop kettle.
Yeah.
You know, because it makes sense because it goes on a stove.
That's obviously been added retroactively to distinguish
Oh,
it.
this is blowing my mind. Fucking water cooker. Like,
That is literally the best thing I've heard in so long. Fucking water cooker.
So here's the thing: if you Google water cooker, what do you get?
Oh, right, let's
Pretty
do
sure
it.
you're gonna
Well,
get
it's not a thing, so I don't really care what you get.
Ah.
I
Is that-
get actually a tea urn. This is what we call there. We have one of these at work, where it's just a giant kettle that's pre-boiled. But we call them a tea urn.
Superiorfoodmachinery.com. What the fuck? That's my homepage, man. I'm like, when I open Chrome, that's the first site I get to.
Anyway, let's continue. But that was a fun diversion into how, even though we speak the same language, we don't.
Putting milk in a.
I like how whenever we like digress, it always sort of gets to this point where we talk about food
Yeah,
or
It's
anything
Europe
like
and UK, and I find it fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty amusing for me as well because I do know both sides a little bit, so I can sort of get where the UK guys are coming from at least because you know I've seen it firsthand. I was so confused, not because I didn't speak the language properly, but just because of all these terms. Like
no-
the lounge. What the fuck is a lounge? It's called the living room, you fucking twats.
What you call that lounge?
Seriously? No.
That's crazy.
I think that depends on where you are in the country.
Yeah, I call it.
I mean,
Uh,
lounge, isn't that like the place you can sit at the hotel or something?
Yeah.
No, that's a lobby.
Yeah,
But,
that's a
they also have
No,
a lounge.
you have the
is-
lounge on the
lounge is
side.
more like a place. When I think lounge, I think like bean bags and big pillows and.
I think a lounge
Mattresses
is
on the
just
floor.
a lounge is like a nicer place to sit at a place
Yeah,
where there's
exactly.
other places to sit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a living room is. It's the nice place in the house to sit.
No,
Dude,
it's
fuck off, dude. My living room is cold as goddamn balls, and
See, once
And
again, this
most
is
of
just
them
because
are
you have
out.
some weird backwards logic, like the best room in the house, and you're like, no, I'm gonna make it fucking cold and shit.
because I spent all my time right here.
Yeah.
everyone knows the best room in the house is the one where the computer is.
Yeah,
be-
and
to
also
be
the
honest,
computer
I
is
think-
heating this
well-
room all the time.
I've got a computer in most rooms, so what do I
Oh
do?
yeah, I actually have one in the living room as well.
I think
People
more
are
commonly in the UK, it's actually known as front room.
The
Yeah, which
fuck-
also
front
makes
room.
no sense as well. Yeah,
The
I
fun
mean,
room or the fuck
the
room?
front.
Front room. Because it's
Front
normally
room.
at the front of the house.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No, it's because
Usually at the
usually
back.
people have a hallway or something first, and then
Isn't
Like
it usually on the
bathrooms
back
and-
garden?
yeah.
Just to nitpick, right? If we're going back to lounge as a stupid place because it's not the place where you spend your time lounging around and stuff, why the fuck would you call it a living room if you're never living there?
Well, of course the
I
intent.
mean,
is that
normal
you do.
people hang around in the living room. I'm just not normal.
Yeah, normal people lounge there as well.
I mean, I get it. It's just that it is UK slang, basically. That's just not used in any other English-speaking country.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't understand where it comes from. It's just funny. Right.
So where were we?
So intermission done. We were at the point where Splint was dragging a headless corpse through the streets into the clock tower.
Oh, nice. Think about the blood trails.
hmm
And as you do, you you eventually see that one of the or some other member of the faithful is running towards the scene. Sees this and immediately turns around and legs it.
Can I throw a rock at him?
Nah, he's not in the square.
Okay.
Can I shoot him?
No, you're not there yet. Make your way down the rock, the watchtower.
Is that
Uh,
dude
so,
in the watchtower now?
Just to point out the way that this game works. This is the consequence, okay? The consequence, you don't get to do anything about it. It just happens. Deal with it. That's the result of the 5. And
Hashtag
then
me too.
afterwards, you get to make some actions again.
I would like to
The dead guy is in the watchtower, yeah.
The dead guy is upon Splint's person.
I would like to help Splint carry the dead guy to the top of the clock tower.
Splint appreciates
Are we
the
gonna
help.
throw him off?
Yes.
hanging on
Well,
top?
No!
we're gonna
I
hang
wanna-
him
I
from
wanna-
it.
I
We're
wanna
gonna
nail
brand
on the
him and
clock
hang him
face.
from it.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that's amazing.
Unlike the clock thing, so he ticks around.
I feel that's a lot more work than just hanging him by the legs.
It's also much more cool.
Just stick the thing in his anus and hope it stays on.
I don't think it gets much cooler than like a dead headless body hanging upside down, branded, like from a clock
Yeah,
tower.
if he goes with the clock.
His legs will jiggle. It'll call to. It'll be more attention to them.
We'll have the
Right.
argument when we get to the top of the tower.
And then, like, when it falls off, it might even kill a second person. Even more attention.
I mean,
I
you make it
get-
to the top of the tower. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to survey the best place to enter the clock phase.
Okay.
Who's broadcasting the Roll20s? Where?
Probably the person with the speakers on.
No, I barely got it on. Maybe, yeah. That's
When in doubt, it's Curtis.
I haven't got my headphones. Leave me alone. I'm normally better at sound
Right.
quality.
You know, you say that. So you you have a look around, and you you do find a door that leads into the clock face near the top of the tower. And what happens is that as you spend some time looking around, finding a few closed doors, you just waste a whole bunch of time basically, and well, you remember that someone ran away to inform possibly some others of what was happening.
Oh, that's what he was going to. Makes sense.
So, could you please add a clock to the crew sheet?
Oh joy.
Is he gonna grab some harbor people? I feel like we haven't counted that clock in a while.
This can be a 4 piece clock, and you can call it Get Assaulted by the Faithful. And it would be nice if you could tick 2 of the 4 fragments there.
Yep.
Alright. You found the clock face entrance.
While he's doing this, I'm going to brand the body.
Yep, that's fine. You don't need to roll for that, it's just... You do it while he's doing that.
Yeah, I'll just strip the chest off, since he hasn't got a head. But take his top off and brand it on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next step is tying him to the clock.
Alright, so you're in the clock face, and let's assume for coolness' sake that you can actually access the clock. So there's a big latch. You open it, and the whole clock face basically swings inward so that you can access it.
Nice.
His time has come.
Oh, good one. And I tie him to the big, what's it called? Finger? Is it a clock finger?
And
Hand. Say a thing.
We just call it the pointer.
I'm surprised it's not the stove finger.
So, do you consider like hobgoblins to be a weird word then?
Yeah. Oh, no, think about it. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Right. So this, I think finesse probably to try and make sure that he stays attached to the clock face as it's going around.
And I'm doing that, yeah?
Well, you can ask someone else to do it for you.
I think someone else should be doing that.
Why don't you help me do it?
I assist him doing it.
Okay, we'll take a stress and he gets plus 1d.
No problem. I have like no stress.
Bull's so chill. Whenever he gets too stressed, just cuts off a toe.
Risky?
No one mentioned Scofflion, so I don't have to.
Yeah, risky.
Standard?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, I
you
mean,
fell with
the standard doesn't really do anything because you
Yeah.
can't really have great effect or anything here.
Makes a
Alright.
really nice looking bow.
Yeah, so you just tie this guy. I mean, sorry, but shoving him onto the spikes is not going to work. You get the idea; it's far too fragile for that. But you manage to sort of tie the ropes around the center, and then tie another rope over the hand, the minute hand. It's the strongest one, almost, because it's bigger. And well, he might dangle a little bit. He might fall at some point, but you manage to attach him to it at least. You don't know how long it's going to hold exactly.
Alright, job done.
I call out to my friends.
I'm
Guys,
next. I'm next
Oh.
to you.
I'm gonna need some help getting off this tower.
Yeah,
want
I when you were away, I basically said I wanted to start helping get down.
I want to use my climbing gear to latch onto him.
Oh, you could just like go down the inside. That's fine.
Yeah. But
Ah,
still, with a broken ankle on a staircase.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
still not
yeah,
very
yeah.
easy, is it?
He can just piggyback ride you.
And we also met them on the way down when they are going up.
Yeah,
we're going
you're
down.
Yeah, so you're already down
And
basically
we
waiting.
spent a few seconds of admiring our work as well.
Yes.
It was pretty good.
Oh, do you see that spine? Nice. I'll sleep well tonight.
But we should probably get going. I mean, this.
I
Let's-
imagine the clock strikes 12 and he's right in the middle of it, and then we turn around and walk away.
Cool guys don't look at us.
Sure, but I still need to have a consequence from Mike. So let's say that there's a complication, and that indeed the faithful are going to assault you. And so what that will mean is that for the next mission, they're going to interfere, which will give you -1 die on the engagement roll.
Well,
So they're
bunch
interfering
of
with your operation.
Okay.
cock.
So
What
could
did
you
we
make
ever do to them?
Could you make it? Could you make a note of that on the cruise ship, please? Because I will definitely.
I can. In exchange, could you skip the song?
Oh, is it still there?
Yeah.
It must have been there twice then. Hold on. Let me just delete it right away.
God
Stop
damn, Mike. Monetize half hours.
No, these are the songs where they just mute the audio if they play.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
God
didn't
damn, Mike,
realize there was one in the
monetizing.
score as well. I removed it from the. There was a few playlists where obviously there were some of them in there.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Should be fixed now. Alright,
Go Power Rangers.
so that will be the score done.
Score!
Epic
God damn it, I wanted to
score,
do
indeed.
something crazy and get a trauma. Fuck.
I should have jumped off the tower.
I was
Yeah, I
actually,
was actually contemplating.
I was hoping for like a fight on the
Because
clock
that would,
face.
I mean, that not only would it be unstable as fuck, it will also be badass as fuck. But, I mean, there was just no reason to do it.
I could have thrown you.
Yeah, the thing is that, as you notice, when you go up against lower tier, things just go a little bit more smoothly.
You know,
Yeah.
in the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the fight on the clock tower, I was. Wait,
What?
was that the Hunchback of Notre? Wait. No, it was.
You thought-
He
It was
probably
the-
just rang the bell.
No, it was the one film with the Mousers that fight. That fuck you, forget it. It was. It
Good
was like,
story,
I
man.
know.
Could you? I would like you to finish the story, please.
I'll find it now. Fuck you.
I think Adrian would make a really good Disney princess.
Yeah, so do I. Have you seen Woman, Adrian?
What?
Have you seen Woman?
No, I meant female Adrian. Have you seen it? Great.
Yes.
Few
What
ladies
about-
I feel
was
like
a
I'm
bit,
missing something here.
no,
This
no,
was
it's-
what I
it's-
was thinking of.
fine. Let me go and find it. I'm sure I can probably find the picture.
Yeah, more importantly, I feel viewers are missing something here.
That's
I'll try if I can make another one that looks as good.
If it's anything less than Adrian in full drag, I'm going to be disappointed.
Ah, you're gonna be this way.
Remember about when you use the camera thing? And we all kind of found
Oh, yeah,
that too
face up.
attractive.
It was really concerning. I used that and it ended up looking exactly like one of my friends.
Maybe you are like siblings.
That's probably not the case.
I mean, you never know, right?
that's what they want you to believe.
It makes me look fat whenever I use the female filter.
Yeah, it also turns.
What's this website?
That's
trying to
face up,
find it
it's
now.
called.
Oh, I like the version with the goatee. Huge fan of that one.
Did you actually find it? The pictures?
I can't
What?
find those.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Was it in the Sunday campaign?
No, it wasn't the general.
How the fuck can you find it? Does
Does this work? Oh. Yeah, there we go.
That's the one. Oh yeah, he's far too attractive as a female.
Yep. Very
Goes
worried.
through you like a rotten barn door, son.
Mike, could you do our one viewer a favor and just enlarge it on your screen?
Oh, I have, don't worry.
Far too attractive.
It's probably it's all right. I mean, probably Christina is just Kristen who's done this the same thing, or Chris.
I'm just trying to find the one I had.
Yeah, I don't know what the bottom right one's supposed to be. Like, is that supposed to be like on drugs or something?
That's the smile. It just gives you a smile.
That's just a really creepy smile.
Well, you know, it doesn't have much to work with.
Is it only on mobile? I can't find it.
Yeah, it's on mobile.
Yeah, it's a mobile app. Or face app.
Not before dropping my phone.
Right, so let's do the end of the score stuff, guys.
Yeah, we didn't do the end of school stuff from the last one either, so that's why.
Well, we did, but you had
We
to
did,
leave
you
early.
just chickened
Yeah.
out.
You were like, oh, up to sleep. Ah!
Wow.
It was pretty
Yes,
much exactly how it
Pretty
went, to
much
be fair.
happened, yeah.
Lazy bastards.
That's how I remember it.
Excuse me, how many years have you been working for?
So, still do more. No.
Alright. So, you earn 2 rep per score by default. If the target of the score is higher tier, take 1 rep. You then. If it's lower score, you get -1 rep. It's not. And you earn coin reward based on the nature of the operation.
Oh, well, hold on. There's definitely something we're missing for rep here.
You're getting 2 rep.
There's definitely gonna be one more rep.
Nope.
Right, we need to do a really quick score, boys.
I mean, stringing him up in the bell tower.
Yeah, I thought.
It's kind of as brutal as it gets.
That gives you heat, not rep.
Oh, great.
Aw.
And you also earn coin reward based on the nature of the operation. And I will call this a small job for coin.
Who the fuck paid?
We have more coin than we can currently hold.
Yeah,
That's
remember,
fine.
You can
I
distribute
mean,
it amongst the people as well too.
We are gonna have the visit of some blue coats now anyway, so
Right, for
And
now,
also-
everyone just put 3 coin on your sheet.
some of us are probably going to jail. I mean, I put 3 coin on my.
I still currently have 4 coins on my character sheet.
That's definitely wrong.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
No, because I think we're doing a previous score and we were like, everyone needs to put so many on their character sheet as well.
No.
Oh,
Because we put it onto the coin and we
Onto the
just use the
sheet.
vault for now. Even though we don't
Alright.
have a vault, we just use that space just to keep account of it. So
Yeah.
everyone should now have 3 coin and we have 2 coin in the crew sheet.
So
Right, then heat.
There was none.
Yeah, no one saw us, right?
After a score conflict with an opponent, the crew takes heat. Add +1 heat for a high-profile working target. It's add +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. Nah. Add +1 heat if you're at war. Nah. Add +2 heat if killing was involved.
Killing? No. I wouldn't do that.
And then there's the base. So it's +2, but on top of the base. Now the the 0 option, smooth and quiet, low exposure.
Yeah.
It's in the town fucking square, so 2 heat, contained, standard exposure. 4 heat, loud and chaotic, or 6 heat, wild, devastating exposure. So I think this was contained. There weren't that many witnesses because the town square just happened to be relatively empty at the time, but there were some witnesses, and it was definitely not smooth and quiet. It was pretty horrific screams as someone was shot in the leg.
How much? heat
See,
is that
that's
then?
why you throw rocks. He didn't
Oh.
get the chance to scream.
It's 4 heat total.
Yeah, he didn't even. He never saw what was coming. He just,
critting.
Pam! Dead.
Nice.
Why does the last one look Asian?
Because it's the Asian filter, obviously.
No,
Why don't I
That's
understand?
crazy.
Why does it make me look like a child? Like a really young kid.
On the bottom right.
Yeah.
The female version gets
Downloading
pretty
this
good though.
fucking
It's quite a fun app.
Who made it? Is it Wireless Lab? No. Alka Apps World? Is that one?
It's called Face App.
I never realised I dodged my left eyes until.
Who made it?
I don't know. You don't need to know who made it. Just search Face App.
It doesn't seem like the same one.
So yes, 4 heat. That's done.
Yep, done.
Did you go up 1 level or not?
Nope. Close,
Okay,
but no.
Then roll dice equal to your 1 level.
Self is not working. The female.
Any modifiers?
Nope. Okay. And what is your current
6.
heat level? 6. Okay.
Oh, I can't get my eye not loose.
All right. Perfect. On heat 6, a 1 through 3 is.
That's horrifying!
Yep.
The last one's actually good looking. That's bad.
But the problem is that
No,
it actually
the
looks like
faces are
completely
so distorted.
looks like a completely different person. Like at least with Adrian, it still looks like Adrian.
That's because I'm naturally beautiful.
Those motherfuckers also like just assume that I will go grey, which is mean.
I think everyone goes grey. at some
Definitely.
point.
With hair that black. Look at you on already fucking grey.
Fuck you, man. I'm young and beautiful.
So the result is flipped or interrogation. We're going to go for interrogation. The blue coats round up one of the PCs to question them about the crew's crimes.
Ooh, rather be.
How did they manage to capture you? Well, it's pretty obvious. You told them where they could find you.
No, he didn't. He said you know where to find us. He didn't actually say
Yeah.
where.
Well, he does.
Well, he does.
There's Liam's one.
So let's. I feel like a guy with long hair is just cheating on this though. Because,
Yeah.
Chris
I
looks
guess-
like a beautiful motherfucker.
It has to really work with me.
Oh, do you just have people's pictures on your phone or something?
Jesus.
Yeah,
I have no-
obviously.
Just
They
makes
probably
me more
send this to
Who
people,
the
right?
fuck-
I assume you need to do it on a live thing in the app, or can you actually use a picture?
Yeah, you can use the picture.
You can use the picture, yeah.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, but no, they did it themselves and sent it to me.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
but if you could use their picture, that would be really mean.
Yeah,
oh,
you
yeah,
can.
for sure.
I can
Yeah.
use any picture on my phone.
That reminds me, I have pictures of Arne, but I have no space for that app on my phone. No problem.
So,
Ooh, I have pictures
there's an
of
option for you here, Whistle. Do you want to pay them off? As
Oh, yeah. The blue card.
the settler would become, yeah, or they're gonna beat you up.
Yeah, pay him off.
No, dude.
Okay.
No, just get beat up.
Take it like a goddamn man. Don't be a bitch.
That's 3 coin.
relaxing.
Then they'll be on the merry way and not think twice about it.
And I hand over 3 coin.
Alright, so that hurts.
You do realize it's more lucrative if you take smaller installments at a time. Like, I can keep giving you bribes if we get these sums lower, but these 3 in one goes, they're not going to be very lucrative.
If you don't want to
Nice.
to pay up, we can always just beat you up and take it.
There is always that option.
Yeah. So
Can
we'll
I
see.
watch?
It is. Right, so that's the result of the entanglements, and then we have downtime.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping I'd be hotter as a female.
There's 2 female versions though. Why didn't you just?
There's a Hollywood one on the bottom right, it says.
Is there also a female to guy one? Like if you have a female picture, but let's make
Yeah.
a guy out of it.
Oh, I need to reach into a bloke, why did I not think of that?
Gert's like, yes, this is what I've always wanted.
Tracks
Hey,
aren't gay.
dicks, chicks with dicks.
Yeah, they're quite horrifying actually. Some of them.
Yeah. Why does
Yeah,
it-
I'm gonna train.
The Hitman one is really bad. It seems like I have the worst head shape. What is this?
What's the one with the pedo Tash?
That's the goatee one. That's like the Star Trek alternate mirror universe one.
Arne, question.
Yes.
What is the consequences for not doing your downtime activity, and what's the consequences for overindulgence?
Okay, so by not doing your downtime activity, you mean not indulging in your vice, right?
Yes.
So taking another thing. Okay, so if you do not or cannot indulge your vice during downtime, you take stress equal to your trauma.
Oh.
So up to the point where you have trauma, it doesn't really do anything.
Okay, so I just take 1 stress then.
Rich's all just actually looks like a nan.
Well, that's probably
Yeah,
quite
so you just
accurate.
take 1 stress. Yeah, so at the start, not indulging your vice is not too bad. It's basically when you get traumatized that you really start needing it.
And what happens if you overindulge?
So if you're overindulging your vice, then you basically something bad happens, and you can choose which one of the bad things happens.
I think I probably just take the 1 stress. That's probably easier.
Yeah. So the you can attract if you overindulge, you can attract trouble, which means that you roll an additional entanglement, like the one that was just happening with the interrogation.
Yeah.
Or you brag about your exploits, which gives you +2 heat.
Does anything give +1 rep?
Or you're lost and play a different character until this one returns from their bender. So basically, you just go all out on your vice for too long to play this character for a while.
Yep.
Or
It's fine. I
tapped.
take the 1 stress, I think, for not indulging.
Yeah, it's fine. I just wanted to tell you so that you know for next time.
Yeah, fair play.
Tapped. Your current purveyor cuts you off. Find a new source for your vice. So if you if you take too many drugs one time, they're just gonna be like, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna deal for you anymore. And similarly with little children,
Oh.
positive or negative. Right. So you wanted to train and do something else. Okay. Here's a different question. Does anyone need help with their downtime?
Potentially.
Okay. The rest of you?
No, but at the end of each downtime phase in +2 stash, so I can't use them now, but I can use them on the next downtime phase.
What?
I use my special ability. How do I click that? So you can see
Okay.
that.
Yeah. If you have a special ability, sure.
I need help. I know how to do the vice. Just indulge one. Boop. Oh,
Have you had this since the start?
oh, great. Why not?
Uh,
And
Cur-
how
Curtis?
how the
Curtis?
Hello.
Did
So-
you have this always? The little something on the side?
No, I changed it from something else that I hadn't used because you said we can do that.
Ah, yeah, that's fine.
I had one where I could always tell people a line, and I hadn't used it yet, and I thought it was a bit shit, so I put that one instead.
Zero stress.
How do I roll recovery?
Okay, so you overindulged, Bull. You
Oh.
went all out. So, you have an option to choose. Do you want to attract trouble, brag, be lost, or be cut off from your vice purveyor?
Oh no, I don't want to lose the Scoffland Rebellion. I want to cause trouble, definitely.
Okay, then could you please roll again, Mike, two dice, I think. For the
On
wanted
what?
level?
Sorry? Oh, wanted.
Yeah, Bull's going around causing trouble.
Yeah.
So it's causing more entanglements.
I imagine he's taking his shoes off in pubs and while drunk and screaming, "I cut off these toes for Skovler."
Okay. And your heat was?
6, sorry, Pete.
Alright.
How much progress on a healing clock is the roll of 5 on?
Hold on, let me do this one first. Okay, so you roll a 6 on a heat 6, and this is pretty much the worst result you can roll.
Oh, I thought that was good.
An inspector presents a case file of evidence to a magistrate to begin prosecution of your crew. The Bluecoats send a detail to arrest you. Pay them off with coin, which is your wanted level plus 3 coin. So I guess 5 coin in this case. Hand someone over for arrest, so one of the crew gets arrested. Or try to evade capture, which is a bit vague what the fuck that then means. So let me just have a look to see if there's anything more in the book about that.
God damn it, Bull. Why are you going ahead and do that?
Look, I'm not the reason we had 6 wanted level already.
But I'm not.
I'm also... What do you want me to do? I just really like Skovler.
Okay, I will ignore the try to evade capture for now, because there's just nothing on how that then works. It just says, well, you can try and avoid it. It's like,
I would like to avoid it.
yeah, exactly. So, Bull, what happens?
I think I'm taking one for the team. Wait, can I get unarrested?
We're gonna get to that, but yes,
Well, yeah, then I'll just get arrested.
this is opening some new areas of play. Prison.
Oh.
Oh,
God.
man, you can be a prison recruiter. You can start like the prison part of it.
I have no idea how it works yet because it's been ages since I read up on that, but I'm going to put it in there that for next time I'll need to prep some prison stuff.
It's a good thing it's not one of the 2 people who can actually kill people.
I'm also the person that has no stress and like barely any injury.
Actually, I can have a look now. Sorry, you wanted to ask something about healing clocks, right?
Yeah, I
I was
rolled a
just
5
about
on
to say,
recovery.
didn't we nearly get the long-term project so we actually have a doctor?
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, we have a level shit doctor.
Alright, so sound.
And I rolled a 5 on that, so how many progressus?
Give me a second.
I think that fills the clock, if I'm lucky. Maybe it's 2? Oh? I don't know.
Yeah, wait a second.
Jag vet inte. Listen, wild ass me.
So 5, that's 2.
Fuck you, game.
It's 1 to 3 is 1, 4 and 5 is 2, 6 is 3, crit is 5.
Can I just... How much money do you have?
I'll be on the toilet really quick.
Dude, inform us on how it goes.
Toilet?
Oh!
So that's 3 marks on the clock.
Is that for him or for me?
For you.
For you?
I thought crit. Oh, can I not crit then with only?
No, 0 dice. Take the lowest result.
Bastard.
So you literally have -1 dice. So you cannot crit because you don't even have the ability
Fair dude.
to
I
roll.
thought there might be a special exception for critting.
Yeah, it's like disadvantage. If you get a good result on both, you still get something good. That's just not how that works.
The floor and I've lost where it's gone now. Definitely going to stand on that soon.
Okay, Mike, what did you want to ask?
Is there a way in downtime activity to increase our rep? Like go and spread the word or something?
No.
Then I have no idea what I want to do for my second downtime activity, so give me a while.
Yeah, we need more long-term projects. They
You
seem to be
can
default.
acquire an asset for the team.
An asset can include crew members' content, like cronies.
Yes, but I'm not sure if you can actually have any at this
Level.
at this tier that you're currently at. Yeah.
To be fair, if it's a long-term clock, to get it, by the time we've got it, we should hopefully be the right tier.
No, acquire assets simply it's a temporary use. If you want to do it for long term, then it would be a long term project to find someone like with a healer.
Yeah,
That's what you want to do, isn't it?
It depends. You can also say, okay, we want someone for our next mission, so we're going to try and find someone who can help us.
Or can I use the time to reduce the clock?
It depends. What are you trying to do? Because the thing about downtime is that there can't be consequences, except for overindulging in your vice. That's only the one that has consequences. So that means that you always make progress and it always goes well, which doesn't sit well with the idea of countering an active clock of an enemy, for example, because that means that you're going to do something to make stuff happen which will have consequences.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, just give me a while then and let other people sort theirs.
What is it you spend if you want to do more downtime activities? Was it your stash?
One coin or 1 rep?
Don't you fucking dare using rep.
And he don't have any coins.
Fairly sure Mike
Yeah,
would,
just use all
he
my
would
coin
probably
downtime.
kill you.
What do I use stash for then? That is a question.
I would like to indulge in my fights and heal.
Stash is just a place where you can put a coin if you have it.
But it says at the end of each downtime phase, you earn +2 stash. Since
Yeah,
this
which
money
is
comes at the end
stash
of
is
downtime,
stash is a
after
specific
your
kind of coin.
downtime actions are resolved, you can't remove it from your stash and spend it on extra activity until you.
Yeah. So if putting things in the stash is 1-on-1, taking things out of stash is 2-for-1. So for every 2 stash that you want to, for every 2 coin you want to take out of your stash, you have to pay 4 coin. So if you have 4 stash and you take it out, you're left with 2 coin.
So by me earning 2 stash, that isn't 2 coin in my stash, it's 2 spaces to put coin in.
No.
Stash is coin in your stash, but it's worth half the normal coin.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So you've got 2 in your stash, but if you ever take it out, it'll only be 1.
Right, okay. Right, sweet. Yeah.
And
that works.
stash is what you want to build up because it determines how well your character retires.
Sweet.
Wait, when do you get stash?
If you
We
if
get
you-
stash by basically putting coin in there, essentially.
Stashing our cost.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can actively put coin in your stash if you have more coin than you can carry, or you just want to put it in. And it has effects like as they are for the end of your character's career. Plus, you can take it out if you need it. But imagine that, for example, you bought a little flat and you're renting it out. It's not going to be worth the same money if you take it out and sell it right now because you need the money.
I mean, that entirely depends on the market.
Yeah, you know what I fucking mean. In Duskwall, it's not gonna get you much, asshole.
What do you mean, asshole? That's so mean. Fucking, that's
I'm gonna
bullying.
go
That's
for
goddamn
Wes and go with that.
cyberbullying.
I know
I
we can't do the
apologise.
same downtime and activity twice, but can we
Yep.
train two separate things? Does that count as
I
two
would
different
say
things?
that be fine. Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably just do that for the second one then.
I mean, the nice thing about the game is that I don't think you can really break it. Like it's pretty difficult to actually make the game be messed up, like you can do in D&D by doing weird
Yeah.
homebrew stuff. Here, it's not really gonna matter that much because the principles of the rules are so simple that at some point you might just notice, oh, things might be getting a little bit too easy. Probably we need to correct something we've done here, but it's not like the characters are so set in stone that it's super difficult to achieve that.
Yeah.
And I think because the game abstracts a lot of the stuff, it doesn't feel so wrong either. Like if I tell you, oh yeah, could you just like remove 3 points from your attack bonus on your character on D&D, you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? Whereas here in the game, if I at some point say, oh, probably I think this is risky rather than controlled, it's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. It's not really that big a deal. So
Yeah,
it's just a bit
fair
more
enough.
fluid. It's really weird because I always feel super underprepared, but I don't know how to prepare for this game. But then in session it seems to go fine. I don't know if you guys think
Yeah,
it goes fine as
Don't
well.
think there's
but-
any issue. Other
Right.
than the fact that my camera seems really fucking laggy.
Yeah, it is. It's doing this sometimes. Just turn it off and turn it back on again on Discord while keeping the call open. I think that fixed it.
I really like the kettle side story. I think that really.
I mean, I think we're all the kind of group that just likes the banter as well, so why not? I mean, you can say that, oh, it's distracting from the experience, but I don't think any of us are such super in-depth role players that we all want to 100% speak in character and pretend that we don't know what the fucking kettle is or crumble.
My
Well, apparently we don't.
You can't judge us if like your microphone cuts out halfway through.
Still laggy for some reason.
Yeah. It's just Discord, it's weird.
It might be like, there might be trouble on the tube highway of the internet.
Too many trucks.
Too many trucks. I know this because I'm part of the few people who built the internet.
Laid these damn tubes with my own bare hands.
It's such a goddamn good meme. Oh my god, how old is that shit?
I don't know. I
Adrian
don't know.
doesn't
It's
remember.
older than me.
Adrian doesn't remember, but Pepperidge Farm remembers. We're gonna be memeing.
Weak.
I know.
Oh, I remember.
I kind of hate memes. It's just it's such a weak form of humor.
Love-hate relationship.
No, just hate mostly.
No, I just hate it.
I mean, I appreciate the worst pun better than the best meme, basically. There's a few which are funny, but that's mostly just because they have a funny concept. And then there are just some which are just so, like, what is it? Sad Confession Bear? Fuck off. What the how is that even a meme? Like, I like, for example, the ones which are quite funny is like Socially Awkward Penguin. That's pretty good.
There's actually a
Okay, wow.
Wikipedia article on Series of Tubes. It's amazing! It's fucking 11 years ago.
Also, this, just because.
Oh my god, that's such a great game. Beavis and Butthead, man. That's me and you, Frog, only with rocks instead of spit.
I was just reading the comments now on the FaceApp stuff. I agree with your assessment of female Curtis, Adrian.
I just sent it Rach and I was just like, she did the first thing she put to me is, you look like a feminist.
Yeah.
I didn't want to phrase it that way.
It says jawbone. A hearty. Tends to be a lot of feminists.
It's also the expression on your face though that makes it perfect. Like it's just someone. It just looks like the face when someone said something completely unimportant, and then this is the reaction. Like, really? You just said that? Wow.
Yeah, just said that.
Did I just hear you say that?
In terms of like end of thing stuff, I need some input from everyone. 'Cause we have got enough for another crew advancement.
More rocks.
What last
Can we
time
make
sleeping
rocks fine?
quarters?
I
Sleeping
think
quarters.
last time we took fine quality weapons.
Yeah.
You did. As you were noticing that you were rather ineffective going up against 2 tiers higher without fine weapons.
Yeah.
Well, we were still very ineffective going up with higher. I think we should get the sleeping
That's
quarters.
because I think maybe it's me, but my view of assassination maybe differs a bit from yours. Like yours just slaughter. It's assassination.
I mean, what gets the job done, man? What the fuck?
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
everyone can't be goddamn.
I wanted
Be
this
on the
kind of
professional.
professional type thing, but we did end up going with the reputation brutal and favoured operation. It's about sending a message, brutal murder.
Oh yeah, but you can still murder one person really brutally. You don't need to send 12. That killed 12 a week.
Yeah, but who's gonna see how we did it brutally? Like, we don't have video call. Like,
Also, it's fucking impossible because you get an engagement roll of 2 and there's 5 guards.
Well, that's also on the approach, I suppose. You
But
could
I
certainly
think-
try and isolate someone if that's the idea, but you'd have to make a bit more effort, make a few scores to get to that stage.
I think that's everyone decided on sleeping quarters, yeah?
Did we? I don't know. I think
Mike,
Bull
what are the
did.
alternatives? What are the good alternatives? I don't need to hear the
So there's not a huge amount we can do in terms of lair. For one, hidden. So the lair is hidden.
Oh, really?
Yes, believe it or not. There's
Not would be useful.
quarters, which Bull is after. So basically, we can sleep at our lair. That's safety in numbers. We can have a workshop, which
I feel as if we're gonna have a workshop, it's better to do that later because in order to make stuff, we need way more advancement.
yeah, fair. So that's all the lair things. Moving on, we can then increase quality of certain stuff. The ones we have left are documents, implements, suppliers, and tools. Or in training, we've unlocked insight prowess and resolve training already, but we can also take personal training, so you can train in your own playbook in downtime.
I go for either the sleeping quarters or the tools or the personal training.
Yeah, I quite like the playbook advancements, but I also like the idea that we're all sleeping together.
Oh, really?
Cool, see
Can you
you
try
words.
and phrase that a bit better?
I
Captain?
purposely phrased those before there's like
Don't make me push myself though, because I might secrete something.
Oh,
I mean,
I personally, before quarters, would prefer hidden. Because,
Hidden's
you know,
also-
it would be nice for, you know, the blue coats to stop
I was just
coming and
about to say
knocking on the
blue
door.
coats. Just constantly knocking up and just knowing exactly where
I
we
mean,
are.
Yeah, but-
it helps when someone doesn't tell them where we live.
But also, like, wouldn't it be kind of like, if we hide it now, like, what are we gonna do? Just push some branches on it and they won't find us anymore?
nah, but no, but it just works.
Okay, so for example, what you could do is you could say, okay, we really want to hide our lair, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave some obvious trail for the blue coats to come and find us again. We'll insult them or something, and then make sure it's empty at that time, clearly abandoned. They leave, they go and look for you elsewhere, and then you move back into your lair, for example.
But I mean,
Okay.
if we get like quarters and shit, me and Frog could have pillow talk about when we would bust heads together.
I'd rather do hidden.
Yeah, I think hidden works.
Yeah, the less head busting you do in bed together is.
I have no opinion on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable the rest of you feel if you can hear those two talking about tossing while they're in bed.
Okay, so it seems to be mainly a choice between. Well, there's hidden quarters and then personal training, so let's just go for the
Let's do
standard
hidden
vote.
first.
That's the hidden, yeah.
Alright, votes for
only gonna
hidden
get,
is,
like-
well, I think probably gonna win out. So, votes for hidden.
Fine. Let me
Right.
sleep.
We have a hidden layer, Arne.
Cool. So we'll assume that what I just described happened.
Yep.
And yeah, and then at some point there's like a trial and this is anecdote, right? This is not something that actually happens. And Frog's on trial and he's like, I mean, I swear I tripped and his head exploded. I'm really sorry.
Would it be alright for me to now indulge in my vice?
Oh yeah, I asked, do you need help with your downtime? So if you don't need help,
Oh,
just go through it.
Ugh.
Fucking hell, it's so.
Okay, and for the healing, I do need some help because I'm gonna click it, and then
That's
I
it.
have a progress clock.
Take 2
Yeah,
on that.
so it's on a
Okay.
4 or a 5, you tick two marks on the progress clock for your healing.
Okay. And can I spend 1 coin to do something else?
Yeah.
Cool, then I'm gonna spend 1 coin because I want to train something. Because then I have my prowess full and I can do another one. I can like add a dot. So prowess training, and then wait, I have to specify which one I'm training, right?
Yep.
And we got a bonus on prowl, hunt, and
No. The bonuses are on the broad level.
okay.
We have everything other than personal.
So all the stats you have the unlock for.
Okay, so if I train prowess, do I get 1 tick or 2 ticks?
2 ticks.
Then I have a full bar and a tick. That's very nice. I'm gonna add 1 to skirmish because I'm bad at that yet. So I have skirmish now.
Yes, skirmish is very useful for you in particular.
Well, if I ever like restore my broken ankle, because if I do take any damage now, it's gonna be bad because everything's filled in. And I don't have I don't have healing like. Progress
Yeah, I
clock
mean,
is
you
before it's
just
filled.
take trauma, right? It's not the end of the world.
Trauma's fun.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to because.
That's a good one for our no context.
Trauma's fun. I'm fine.
Right. Well, and I think that's it for today, boys. Finished a
Thank
little bit
you.
earlier because you had a quick score, but I think that's fine. What you could do is, if you want, you could start planning for next score.
Don't we
if
need
you,
to break Bull out of prison?
No, not exactly. I mean, there's no chance basically that you're actually gonna break him out of prison.
That's
Poppycock. Yeah.
Poppycock.
So, are we ending or are we continuing? Sorry.
Oh no, we can explain at least how prison works if you want.
Yes, please.
I'm just gonna have to find it.
I mean, you're gonna love it, Bull.
What do I need
What
to
they do-
roll
What
to...
they do in prison, Bull, is they exchange war stories. And they, like, show each other, like, the bits of cuts and bruises they got. So you're, like, Natural Museum.
That is true. Bull is basically winning the prison.
Yeah. Also, you know that phrase, grabbing the bull by the horns? There'll probably be some of that too.
There's gonna be a lot of that.
What do I need to roll to see if I drop the soap or not?
Finesse?
What you do, you just tie the soap around your hand. Fine.
I think soap works like that. Basically just rubbing yourself with whatever you've tied it with then.
What?
Oh, did
If you have a bar of soap and you tie a rope around it and a rope around your hand.
Well, wouldn't you just rub the rope against you?
Yeah, that's what
then?
I'm saying. Just rubbing rope against yourself at that point.
You could probably make it work because what you need to do then is you need to wrap the rope so tightly that it goes, that it like cuts into the soap a little bit, so
Yeah.
the soap doesn't actually have any rope sticking out.
More sense.
But what if the soap like breaks through and suddenly you've dropped 2 bars of soap?
Yeah, no,
Or
you drop
even-
two. You now then bent over for twice as long.
But if you drop one, you still have one.
That's true.
Like they're gonna be like, you're gonna be,
Mike, did you remember to clear the heat due to the arrest?
I did not. That's lovely.
You keep your wand level, of course, but you clear your heat.
I took one for the team.
Yeah, I mean, get arrested more often.
You can also reduce your heat and downtime, by the way, if you want. It's one of the downtime activities.
He doesn't seem to be so bad. We need to reduce our wanted level.
I'm not sure if that's possible.
What happens if you just get full wanted then? You can, like, never get rid of it?
Yeah, I think so. You can reduce your heat within the wanted level, which determines the seriousness of the results.
Fuck.
So you have like a little table. I don't know if you can see that, but you have like a little table, and so you roll an amount of dice equal to your wanted level, and then the result is based on the highest die result. So, but the less heat you have, the less serious the. Like there's three tables, one for 0 to 3, one for 5, one for 6 plus. So if your heat is
Yeah.
low, even within your wanted level, you're going to roll more dice. It's more likely that you're going to get caught and get a bad result, let's say.
Yep.
But if you've reduced your heat a little bit, you can still get the. You're still going to get a 6 probably on the 0 to 3 table, but at least you won't get a 6 on the 6th table.
Yeah, fair play.
Okay, so incarceration. The only way to reduce your crew's wanted level is through incarceration. When one of your crew members, friends, contacts, or framed enemy is convicted and incarcerated for crimes associated with your crew, your wanted level is reduced by 1 and you clear heat. This is if it's done in a different way than a complication.
Wow, so you just said what the level does go down.
If there's a different. I think there's a different way that works, but let me read some more. Because in the handout it definitely doesn't say anything about wanted level. It just says to clear your heat. Now, so far you've of course been arrested. You haven't been incarcerated yet.
Oh, so there's still time for a jailbreak. Not in actual prison.
No, there's going to be. So that's the difference. There's the heat clears your. The arrest clears your heat, and then the incarceration might clear some wanted level. If
Right.
someone's actually paying for the crimes. There's going to be an incarceration roll in a moment. It may result from investigation and arrest by the Bluecoats, as in this case, or because someone turns themselves in and takes the fall for the crew's crimes. The severity of the prison sentence depends on your wanted level. Your wanted level is 2, correct?
Yep.
Several months.
Oh, do I need to roll a second character?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a sec, because we're not sure that's going to happen yet. Incarceration is dehumanizing and brutal. The renown of your crew is your only real defense inside.
Oh,
When
fuck.
you serve your time, make an incarceration roll using your crew's tier as the dice pool.
So 0, great.
Yeah, so it's roll 2 and take the lowest.
Well, I guess I'm rolling.
You're
Okay.
definitely.
So
You're
two
not
dice
just
to take the
someone's bitch.
I'm
You're
rolling.
someone
I'm rolling
big
consort because I
big.
don't have anything in that.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have a fortune box, remember?
Can I use fortune for this?
Yeah, that's what this is for.
Yeah.
Can I add dice to this using stress or something? Well, so thank God I'm not
no, I don't
fucking
think
you.
so. No, it's just a 1d for each BT level. Okay.
You choose how many dice you want to use when you click.
That's not mine. That's his. Oh, for fuck's sake! What?
Okay, so it's horrific. You suffer a level of trauma.
Oh, well, that's nothing. I have no trauma.
Yeah, you say that. And yeah, so you're going to be in prison for a few months. Now, if you do prison time really well, which is something that some crews are good at, for example, Bravos are good at doing time, which means that you're effectively 1 tier higher while you're in prison, for example.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The options were it's horrific, you get trauma, or there's on a 4 to 5, it's you keep your head down and do your time without incident. There's a 6, you do your time well, your crew gains 1 prison claim and +1 faction status with a faction that you assisted while you served your time. And then there's a crit, you make a name for yourself inside, you gain 3 rep, 1 prison claim, 1 faction status. So you can actually get good things out of being in prison.
Where was your crit?
Except-
Come on.
Except Bull just got crit up the ass.
It was fucking Lars, like, rolling ahead of me.
Yeah, but I typed in the reason why I rolled. You didn't.
And so when you start making prison claims, which will happen because, you know, as we discussed before, it's not just, your crew is not 5 people, your crew is bigger. You're just playing these 5 as part of your one gang. So you will eventually unlock some things like smuggling or cell block control, things like this. For example, if you have cell block control, you can't take trauma because there's always some friends around you in the cell block.
Oh, nice.
Things like that. So,
Dude, how many fucking rolls is he gonna have to make in that?
what? No, he's done. This was
Oh.
his role. Now he just has to spend several months in there.
Which trauma do I take?
Dude, oh my god.
I'd
Well-
assume soft or paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you.
Prison
really.
time turned you meek, man. You just bend over.
No, I don't think Bull is a weak man. I think he turned a paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, you could
To
also
be fair,
turn reckless.
unstable and vicious and reckless, they all
Yeah,
work.
reckless and so, all of them will work. It's fine. It's just about how you.
Reckless would be cheating because Bull is already reckless.
Well, you have little regard for your own best interests as well, which is not the case. You have maybe not for your safety, but for
Or
your
my
best
toes.
Yeah. Obviously, those
That
are
was
not
a
your
bit
best.
reckless, yeah.
You know what? I'll take reckless.
The thing is that you can, you can get XP for playing into your thing. So maybe having something which is already in line with your character is not necessarily bad. Because if you truly want to go reckless, then you might get some XP for it.
Yeah, I did take reckless.
Yeah. It's like, I've been trying to be cold, but it's really difficult when you're already a cold-blooded murderer.
It's kind of hard being unstable as well.
So do I need to roll up a second character?
I would suggest so, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll have
Bull's-
one ready
Bull's
for
go-
next.
Bull's going to be gone for a while.
Just add another sheet for me then.
Yeah.
The good news is, I've doubled the number of available totes.
Nice. That is a buff.
This is a buff.
This is a buff. Yeah, that's probably only for us though.
Yeah, no one's gonna get it. I hate you guys. Fuck you all.
Need to play more Path of Exile.
Yeah, you do. 10 days. 10 days, man.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
I am fucking doing it.
Now, I mean.
What do you mean?
The 10-day races have started.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't be asked to play Turmoil. I'm gonna play Mayhem though.
Yeah, I figured I'd just give it a go. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with what we're doing now, so I'm also going to head off.
Are we doing playbook advancement, or is everyone filling that in themselves?
I've already done that.
Yeah, I've already done it.
Yeah, I trust you guys to just do that by yourselves, basically.
Yeah, I got 16 XP. This section was a good one.
I only got 1 XP because I only got to shoot once.
You should be able to
What do
get
you mean
more
you
than
don't
that.
get XP for just you get XP for just shooting? That's so goddamn unfair.
Yeah, I get every time I solve a challenge with violence, I get XP.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's really
Jesus.
Really good playbook thing to have as an assassin.
Yeah, it's the
But
same
I
as
only
Brian when
shot
you
once,
address the
so I don't
challenge
get
with
2, I
stealth or
only get 1.
evasion.
I get it every time I use Wreck or Tinker. So today I got one for smashing someone's head with this rock.
That's pretty epic.
Remember, you've got options for beliefs, drives, heritage, background,
Oh,
all that
shit,
stuff as
I mean,
well.
Nothing
Vice
like
and
that happened this
traumas.
time, though.
Yeah, I think that will happen more if you flesh those out more and talk
Yeah,
about them.
you flash out.
And I would suggest that you do that between the players because it's a player-driven game. So if you want to take it more into that direction, then please do like take the initiative and start talking to each other about your beliefs, etc., and make them part of your character so that they come into play.
The thing though is, it's really hard to talk to Curtis only 4 hours a week. So I mean, adding more to that.
No, I mean we can do that during the session before we start. I don't have any problem with that.
Oh, thank God! I was worried we'd have to have regular contact with Curtis.
Oh,
I
poor
think it's also
Curtis,
probably
man.
best if you do it while everyone's here. That's what I meant. Assholes.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Take
Are
one
you
level of
okay,
trauma.
Curtis?
I'm just laughing at the fake droopy eye in it. It's pretty well done. Cheers.
If cases could kill.
He's drinking the
that's
pain
alright.
away.
He loves us really.
No, now you're looking like the feminist.
I was gonna say that.
Oh dear.
Okay. That
Alright,
means I can
good
go
game,
to bed
boys.
early
Good
today.
games.
I mean.